And we are live, everybody. Welcome to the Precision Podcast, episode 9. So happy to have my guest, Louis Sports Network, on here. Please subscribe to him. His link is in the description. He's so close to 1K. You know, I'm pretty sure there's probably some people who are not sub to him. Please sub to him. Get him to that 1K. We're trying to get to 1K. Subscribe to this channel as well. Follow his Twitter. His Twitter link is in the description. Everything that I know is in the description. His Twitter and his YouTube. So now, Louis, I should start off. Why did you create your YouTube channel? And, you know, are you happy with how it's growing and all that?
Well, first of all, shout out to everybody in the chat. It's good to be here. Second time with Amir, but this time, first time ever guest on the Precision Podcast. So I appreciate that, Amir. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
And again, shout out to the chat. Truly appreciate you guys coming and checking it in. And we're doing another collaboration. So this is pretty cool. To answer your question on pretty much how I got started with YouTube was, again, I am a avid sports fan, and so I don't, a lot of times, and I've said this before, with the content that I cover, a lot of small market teams, when you look at across the 50 states, they don't get enough coverage because what dominates topics today is always just pretty much, obviously, it's either certain teams, and you know, a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. Like if it's Dallas Cowboys, if it's if it's LeBron James, we're talking about one day. If we're talking about Tom Brady the next day, it's like those guys pretty much dominate the headlines. And so, one of the things that I wanted to do is that I know that there's a large community of like fans everywhere when it comes to all sports, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, and one of the things that I wanted to do, because I'm passionate about sports, I wanted to make sure that small market teams get recognized. I wanted audiences to recognize, to say, hey, that you guys are appreciated for being sports fans too, because the true fans are the ones that dedicate themselves to go watch, their favorite team sports. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, was because I want people to recognize that, like, the media, they don't have to be the only ones that kind of dominate headlines. I said, we can do that here, with our platform. And again, what I want to do is I want to bring authenticity. It's like we're talking like real stuff, not narratives, not things that make stories. It's about actual sports and sports teams, and true sports fans know how to break down teams and their players when you're true fans of the game. And so, that's why I really wanted to do this, because I'm passionate about what I do, and I just wanted to give my knowledge like to the audience. And that's how I got started. And to answer the other thing, I think when I first started, it was one of those things where I was really impatient, because like sometimes when you start at YouTube, like you kind of like look at other YouTubers and see how they have so many subscribers, and you want to try to grow as quickly as them, but you don't realize that it has to take time and effort, and you have to really understand what you want to do on your channel. I've been getting advice from other YouTubers, like in the last, I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So I think that where I started, to where I am now, I think that I've been very impressed with my growth, and the fact that I'm almost at 1K in just less than 2 years' time. And I'm gonna say this again, even though I'm putting out the content, I'm not doing this by myself. It's like you guys are the support system and have helped me get there. So it's a combination of me putting what I do, and then you guys continuing to like and subscribe, letting other people know about the channel, and continuing to spread. So I couldn't be more happy, doing this, and I just want to continue to go from there. So I'm very happy with the steady growth that my channel has gone, and I'm just looking for things to get better.
Yeah, man, I'm happy for you. You're close to 1K. Hope you get it soon. I know you will get it. I just don't know when. I think it'll be soon. Hopefully, it's hard because like we're doing sports channels without any sports, but I really like your content because you cover the small market teams as well. A lot of people don't. All they do is talk about the same teams, whether it's the Lakers or the Clippers or the Bucks or whatever, all the good teams. But you actually covered the Magic and other like Thunder and all those teams that aren't big market but still have good players. I feel like a lot of those good players don't get noticed, and that is something that you do well on your channel. You talk about them, which is great, and you bring out their history too. Like a lot of people don't know the Magic history. All they know is that all they ever like tell me in my chat is we never won a championship, but that's not the only thing. And any Knicks fans would always come in here and tell me, well, they won to the Knicks, but they were never alive to see any of them. Louis was not alive to see any of them, Yes, that doesn't mean they didn't win it, but it's like, if you never saw it, so I win, does it matter? It doesn't really matter as much. I mean, those guys, most of them are retired. I mean, all of them are retired, the ones in the 70s and stuff, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, man, I love your channel. I think you do great work. Let's get Louis at 1K if we can. If anybody's not subscribed here, please go over there to subscribe to Louis Sports. Follow him on Twitter. I like the Twitter stuff too. I feel like a lot of people don't use Twitter as much as they used to, but it's a great way to share streams, let people know when you're going live, because YouTube is horrible with notifications, terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know that because when you go live, sometimes you don't get people right away. Do you have Discord, by the way, Louis, or no?
I actually don't, but I did hear about Discord.
Yeah.
So I definitely do plan. Say it again.
Do you know what Discord is? Do you want me to explain it to you, or
you can explain it a little bit? I have heard a little bit of it, but just a little bit more though. Could try to get a little bit.
So Discord, it's really honestly for gaming, but a lot of YouTubers use it so they can, talk to their community. Anybody can join. Any of your subscribers can join, but it's like your channel, it's your Discord. You set the rules, all that stuff. You could put in your videos when you go live. You can share your streams and stuff. And some people use that because, like the YouTube notifications are pretty bad. Me, I share all my streams on Discord and Twitter. And I like talking to my supporters. You can talk to your supporters through voice chats. You can talk to them, through just typing if you don't want to do a voice chat. There's many good things about Discord. It's a great way to connect with the community, I think, anyway.
Oh, that sounds really good. It kind of, just listening to that, kind of sounds like Patreon a little bit, just without the monthly fee and the fact that you can set your own rules on Discord.
So, yeah,
that's a cool thing. So I'm definitely gonna check Discord out for sure.
Yeah. And then you could join other people's Discord. Like you could join my Discord. You could talk to my community. I could go to yours. It's a huge thing. It's really fun. Yeah. The Discord is fire. Yeah, Alex, you don't use it that much though. And wait, Gideon said, "Happy early birthday, Louis." Yes, tomorrow is Louis's birthday, so happy early birthday to you, Louis.
Appreciate that.
Hope you have a great birthday tomorrow. He streams all the time. Louis is crazy. Like he streams every day. But tomorrow he's taking a day off for himself, which I understand. We got the bet in here. We got Alex Sports. We got Jeff in the Zone. We got Eagles UK. We got Junkyard Dog 2003. I don't know who that is. I'm guessing that's from your channel, Louis.
I'm guessing so. I think so.
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
You're welcome. Anyway, everybody's all welcome in here. The more the merrier, obviously. So I wanted to ask you this. I never asked you this. You love sports, and we all do. How would you rank your favorite sports? Like, what order would you rank them in?
Okay, so if I was to rank them, it would be the NBA first. The funny thing is, I started out as a baseball fan, but I fell so in love with the game of basketball, so I would have to put that as the number one sport. Even though I love baseball, I kind of have that third, just with how the way the NFL has been for me. So I have to put NFL at number two. So NBA 1, NFL 2, baseball 3, and they're probably the 3 most watched sports that I watch. I mean, I do watch also UFC, so I'm a big mixed martial arts fan, so I do watch UFC. That's got to be 4th on my list as well. Hockey, I don't watch as much. The only time I really watch hockey is during the playoffs. I think it's an exciting time to watch hockey during the playoffs. I do know all the teams. It's just I don't really kind of like follow the players and stuff like that during the regular season. But when it's playoff time, especially in the Stanley Cup Finals, you will catch me watching hockey. So
that's how I like hockey too. I don't really watch it as much as I should. But you know what's crazy, and I think you'll probably agree with me on this. A lot of sports you want to give more of a chance now that we see how the world is without sports. It's just so depressing, Do you think that there's any fear that any of these sports will get canceled though because of the COVID and it's like still here and it's not gone away? Or what do you think is going to happen? Like, I mean, obviously you can't say for sure, but just, your opinion on the matter. What do you like? Do you see anything happening? Any games getting canceled or anything?
You know what? I know that the NFL is probably the only sport right now that looks like it's going to start on time, even though they said that they might shorten this. I already know that they shortened preseason games to 2 games.
Yeah.
That's one. But I heard J.J. Watt came out and he said that he will not play if the NFL decides that they'll have to wear masks, which I think could be kind of dangerous if you ask me, because again, even though you're wearing protective masks, you are inhaling your own CO2, so that is a bit dangerous. So you're not really having enough oxygen to breathe. So I can understand JJ Watt from that standpoint. I know baseball is starting the 23rd, but I know that Mike Trout he's kind of scared of wanting to play just because I know he's having the birth of his child and he wants to kind of focus on that. Um, and also MLB, they have COVID cases. I know it's not a
Yeah.
lot, but they only have 66 players with COVID out of like 3,700 something. It doesn't sound bad, but I just think that um, as long as there's people in the room, you could still spread the virus. So the numbers could go up pretty quick. It may not sound like a lot, but that's still something to be concerned about because again, it's like even when they're off the field, you don't know who these players are going to meet during that time that they could even attract and pass the COVID around as well. Then you have with and then with basketball, there's been a lot of concern right now. I just heard
Yeah.
that Russell Westbrook and James Harden they didn't join the team on their flight, and I've heard some reports. Some people are concerned that there could be a possible case that either one of those two players did not both have COVID, and that James Harden also has asthma, which I did not know about. And so
Yeah, I
that
hadn't.
would be really
Yeah, Harden has asthma. Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, he lost some weight, so he looks really skinny. So that would concern me if he would go there. Joel Embiid is like scared to death. He had to wear a suit, to go down there. And I heard that the conditions of the Rajon Rondo came out and complained that he's saying that the service of the hotel feels like Motel 6. They said that there's some unsanitary conditions. Some of the players don't even like the food there. So there is a bit of a concern. I even heard about Kawhi Leonard. There's been mixed reports. Some
Yeah.
say that he was with his daughter, while other people were saying that he had to attend a family matter. So it's just a lot of weird things going on. So I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, I hope that it doesn't get canceled, but
Me
there's a
too.
lot of consideration that we gotta look into for this. I
Well,
mean, it's just
I
go
don't.
ahead, go ahead.
I don't get the wait though. I didn't get why they waited so long. I know they have to organize stuff, but I feel like the fact that they waited the cases went up in all this time with the wait. If they started earlier, I felt like some of these guys wouldn't have gotten it, especially in basketball. Like
Mhm.
they really pushed it to like July 31st. Man, I just hope it happens because like you said, there's a lot of people who are either scared of playing, which I get. I mean, I get what the players are like, scared to play, but it just sucks because we really do need sports at the same time, but it's like it's players, safety at the same time. So you gotta
Yeah,
find a balance in between there.
yeah. No, my only thing is that I wouldn't say just kind of like necessarily cancel the season. I just feel like for me, I just think that the NBA is doing kind of all of this on the fly, and I felt like they really should have really took their time to really understand what they're dealing with. So they should have pushed it back at the very. It's like I don't want it to be such a long time because
Yeah,
we've been without sports since March. So I understand that, but I just think the health and safety first because those players again are human beings at the end of the day, and they're there to entertain. So they have families. If it were up to me, I would have pushed the season back at the very least until September, kind of see where things are, because you really want this COVID stuff to go down. Because again, cases have gone down in New York, but they spiked up in Florida.
yeah.
And before that,
I don't get, Louis, why they chose Orlando. I mean, I'm happy they did because I love Orlando. But Orlando is in Florida. That's where the cases are spiking. Do you think? I mean, and all the players are pretty. Not all the players, but most of the players have already gone down there. Do you think it's still going to be played in Orlando, even though there's a huge Corona spike over there?
the thing is that I think it's going to happen because I don't know where they can find another location like that quickly within this amount of time, especially if they're already traveling. I don't think it makes sense for them to kind of re-travel again because I think you're just again taking another risk, and this is what Adam Silver went with. So unfortunately, that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the Orlando thing just because of the fact that the cases went
Me
up. I
too.
would have gone for more places. See, beforehand, I would have done a place like a Vegas, or I would have done a place like Arizona. But then for some reason, the
They all
cases went up
spiked up,
there.
though. Yeah.
But they're all spiked up now, so it's like,
Yeah. I don't know. But it seems like we're going to have it. Hey, I want to say hi to some other people that came in. Mile High, Colby. Thank you guys for joining us. Nuzdar, Daniel Barry, welcome. So I have just a random question. Like on the podcast, we like to talk other stuff just randomly from time to time. You can bring up a random topic. What is your favorite thing to drink?
in terms of what, in terms of
Anything.
like,
It doesn't have to be alcoholic. It could be, caffeine. It could be anything. I'm trying to think of like cool topics to ask people.
Okay.
Drink all different kind of stuff. But what about you? Like one of your favorite drinks? It doesn't have to be like.
Okay. I mean, well, It would definitely be if it's soda, it would definitely be
Yeah.
Sprite. For some reason, I just love
Okay.
Sprite.
Okay.
So there's that. When it comes to alcoholic drinks, I mean that could go from beer to I'm a Corona. I mean, well, no pun intended, but I'm a Corona guy. So then there's
That
that.
is not the right one to say right now. Just kidding. Yeah.
I know it's like, but I had to say it. But I like.
Guys, you heard it here. He said he likes Corona.
No pun intended, guys. But
you drink like any coffee or tea or any caffeinated drinks, or you're not really into that kind of stuff?
I'm not really into the caffeinated drinks, to be honest. I did used to drink coffee before, but because of the
I
whole
can't live without that stuff. But I understand people. I understand like people who don't. I'll speak for myself. I need to have tea. I need to have coffee. I need to have something to keep me awake, or I'll feel like unproductive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like green tea though. I do enjoy drinking green tea.
Yes, so I drink green tea like almost every night. I love green tea. It's good for you too. That's one thing I like about it.
Yeah, so that is a must. And then when it comes to the alcoholic drinks, there's I mean, I like Blue Hawaiian. I just had some Blue Lagoon. Some cases, I'll have like a passion fruit mojito or something like that, or a margarita. So things like that. Things like that. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things I like to try, but things like that in terms of my favorite drinks. What are your favorite kind of drinks besides green tea?
So tea, coffee. I like Mountain Dew. Obviously, I drink this all the time.
I've been drinking Mountain Dew in a long time, man.
I know it's not really good for you, but I just like it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't drink it too much though, so I limit it as much as I can. Yeah, so that kind of stuff is what I normally drink. Water, obviously, love water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't live without it. Gatorade I like too. Like when I play ball, but I haven't played ball in a while because of the coronavirus.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of different stuff like that, I would say.
Okay. Usually with Gatorade, it's either when I play basketball or whether I go running sometimes, and it's like when especially when it's hot and obviously getting dehydrated from the sunlight and losing all that sweat coming out of your system because of how our body's made up of nearly 70% water. I will usually buy Gatorade to kind of replenish and kind of put the sodium back in. But yeah, Gatorade is definitely one of those things for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now another random question I have. I'm a big movie guy, I know this guy, a movie critic. So what is your favorite movie genre? Do you have one, or is it just, I mean, a lot of people like me, I like to watch everything, but I do have like one that I like to watch more than anything else. Do you have one like that? If so, what is it?
Okay, so in terms of movies, if it seems interesting, I will definitely watch it. That's number one. Number two, if we're talking genres, I'm a huge comedy person. I love action and adventure, and I would definitely say I like past horror movies. Those like classic horror movies, not the ones that they make today. The only exception that I can make today, probably when it comes to really good, probably a really good one was probably The Conjuring. That was probably the only movie that I could say would definitely.
That was a pretty good horror movie. Yes, that was
actually pretty good.
Well, what about Halloween? You didn't like the Halloween movie that came out just recently in 2018?
I thought it was okay. For me, I felt like the original Halloweens were better. I remember there was Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes. I thought that was, I remember seeing that one, so I thought that was okay. But I like the original Halloweens. Friday the 13th with Jason, obviously with the then you have Nightmare on Elm Street with obviously
Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger is so iconic. Yeah, I love Nightmare on Elm Street.
One that one of my coworkers had put me on. He had told me to watch Maniac, which came out in 1980 with Joe Spinelli. I thought that was a classic movie. That was dealing with a psychopath, pretty much killing so many people, and I thought that was I just thought that the plot and just the way that movie was. It really scared the crap out of me. So
what movie was that you said that you're talking about right now? I didn't hear it. Sorry. What movie was that?
I said that this one is with Joe Spinelli. It's a 1980 film. It's called Maniac. I definitely.
Maniac. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know that one.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that was actually one of my favorite.
That is a good movie. I do like that one. Yeah. I was okay. Here's another thing. Movie theaters are like non-existent right now because of the COVID. But I'm pretty sure before COVID, you were watching movies in movie theaters. Last movie you saw in the movie theater? Do you remember?
Wow. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this. So the last movie that I
In that
saw,
long list.
okay, so the last movie that I saw was back in January. And it was the Bad Boys movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. That was the last movie that I saw. And what's sad about that is, uh, I saw the movie on the day that Kobe passed away.
Oh
That
my,
was the crazy part.
yeah.
So what's crazy about that is that it was actually getting to the best part and the best scene of the movie. And I remember my sister sent me, she showed me a notification on her phone, and she showed me news. I remember and I looked, and it's like Kobe Bryant died in car crash, and it was like TMZ, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, TMZ is known for sending fake news, and I'm like, this can't be real. So I'm like, let me go enjoy it. So then my phone is like blowing up like crazy. I got my friends telling me, oh my God, so and so died, and they just put posting notifications, and like it ended up being true because as soon as I left the theater, everybody was talking about it when I was walking through Broadway, and I was at the Lincoln Theater on Broadway on 66. Um, so yeah, like it was hard for me to enjoy the movie, like especially on the scene. So I had to rewatch that movie again once it came out again for when I was watching it on TV. But that was the last movie that I saw. And I would have enjoyed it had I not heard that news, but because I heard it, it was hard for me to even focus. So I had to wait until I watched the movie again to kind of like,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
relive and
that's
enjoy
tough.
that scene.
When Kobe passed away, that was tough. And then after the Kobe thing, we pretty much got COVID. So it was like COVID
Hmm.
news. It was like pretty much I think a month or two after that. Like pretty much that's when they shut everything down. What's up, Hot Take Hockey? Welcome to the stream, Karam. Guys, if you have questions in the chat, you can ask us too. This podcast is open to the chat as well. I like to take questions from the chat. It doesn't have to be sports related, but if you want to, you can. I actually like questions that aren't sports related because I talk sports all day. So sometimes it's nice to have a little break. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I
I do
gotta
like
ask you.
sports too a lot too, though, because I can talk
Hmm.
forever. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna ask you.
Magic have no championship. Ha ha ha! I know everybody says that, Nazdar. That is not new. We're only a team that's been around for 30 years, 31 years. So, it's okay, Rob. You're all good. We just started. Thank you for joining, Rob. Um, yeah. So, any questions you want to ask, Louis? Is free. You can ask something. If not, I will ask you something.
Yeah, no, I had a question for you. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
cool.
do you have I know on some of the streams that I've seen, I know you are very big on comedy. Do you have an all-time favorite comedy movie? It's like the number one movie for you. Because I know
I love
you
comedy. I do. That is a hard question because I feel like anytime I think about comedies, I'm gonna leave one out that I love even more. But 40-Year-Old Virgin is one of those for me. What is another one? This is the End. I love that movie. I could watch it over and over. Have you seen This Is the End?
I believe I have.
That's
I
the
believe
one
I
where
have.
like Seth Rogen and all themselves they play themselves in the movie, like an exaggerated version of themselves, and the
Oh
world is.
wait, I think I did see that movie. Yeah, I think I did see that one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's like the newer comedies. But then I do like the older comedies like Dumb and Dumber and like stuff like that. It's so hard because the list goes on forever. For me to pick one is tough. Do
Yeah.
you have one that you go to? Maybe I probably would agree with, you know, it's hard to just pick one, but do you have just one?
Um,
That's the one you
it,
watch all the time?
it's hard to say in terms of one because the 40 year
It
the
is, yeah.
40-year-old virgin was
Royal
absolute
like I
favorite
saw
movies.
that. Anchorman
Favorite
is
movies.
another great movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I think probably one of my favorites, and people don't really see it mostly for the life lessons that it gives. But if there's one comedy and it probably in a series that I've seen, it's probably have to be American Pie. If you haven't seen American Pie, so that's
Mhm.
American Pie 1,
Yeah,
2,
you know,
Wedding, Band
yeah,
Camp.
I do
Okay,
like.
so I
Very
do like those, and
raunchy, very dirty movie. But yeah, the first one I love the most
yeah.
because the concept, like I'm pretty sure it existed before, but I never seen a movie executed so well. Talking
Mhm.
about like they have to lose their virginity and how they're all gonna help each other do it before high
Exactly.
school.
Yep. That's what I loved about it, and I just love the life lessons that they were giving, like in there, just for that, and then realizing, what's the most important thing, which wasn't necessarily, just about that, but it was kind of like, just the journey that they went through. I thought was just you know, it was pretty cool. And like I said, I just love the moments in the movie American Pie. American Pie would have to be my absolute favorite though. Number the first one, the first
Yeah,
one.
that's a pretty good one. I like American Pie. I like the older ones too. There's like the older ones that I like, then some of the newer comedies that I like. Team America Rules. That's a good movie. I like Team America. It's pretty funny. Made by the South Park guys. Dirty Rob Said. Dumb and Dumber. You know what's funny though? Like, so I also realized a lot of the younger generation, like some of my people here on YouTube are younger, obviously, and you'll get that because whatever audience you have is going to either be younger or older, or whatever. But I realized the younger kids do not like movies. I don't know. I don't know if it's because the era that we live in, the movies aren't so good, or what the reasoning is. And especially the kids that are into sports, like they don't watch like any. I find that so ridiculous because when I was younger, I watched sports and movies. You know, I used to watch both of them because there was sports that like, yeah, baseball's great, but it's slow and stuff. During that time, I'd watch a lot of movies. Summer is the best time for movies. That's when all the blockbusters come out and all that. Worst time is usually in the January. If you realize it, every January there's like no really good movies out there, and they always come out. And the best, like the Oscar-worthy movies, they come out towards the end of the year. It's like the same thing all the time, it just cycles itself.
Every single year, it's like I noticed like every time if you look at the lineup of movies, they're usually coming around anywhere from June to August. Like those are like when really the best movies begin to come out. I could even go as far as probably like even May for that matter, for like mid to like late May, going all the way to like August. And then those Oscar-winning movies like down the stretch in like November, December for sure. Yeah, because it's true. Like every time I come into January, I would look because I have the AMC because I go to AMC a lot, and I'm just looking. I'm like, what movies are out? And it's like it's January, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem interesting. No, that's not good. And I'm like, oh, there's really no good movies out. And I'm saying that all the time during that time. I'm like, it's like for some reason January, and it's like it's as cold as winter when it comes to trying to pick movies, trying to see movies during that time.
Yes. Also, Karam says we should go to movies during the summer. Also, this is another thing I have question for the chat and question for Louis. Like, or not Louis actually, because you do watch movies, but there are people that like during Corona, this is the time, guys, to watch movies. What are you doing? Are you just on YouTube all day? I like YouTube, but I can't be on it all day. There are times where I take breaks and I watch movies and shows. Shows have gotten really good too, especially on Netflix. Do you watch Netflix and all that stuff too?
I have a Netflix account, so usually, even when I'm not doing this YouTube stuff, man, I'm on Netflix, watching shows, watching movies. It really
right.
And Amir's speaking major facts, guys. During this time,
it's time to watch. It's not much in sport.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of good stuff to watch, and it's what Amir was saying. Like you got to give some things a chance, and usually, like there's a lot of like Netflix at one point really sucked in terms of its content, and they've gotten so much better these last couple of years. They have really good titles. Trust me, you can really not. There's so many selections, man, that you can really not get bored with it, especially with what you like. Even if you're not such a movie person, but again, he's right. You give something a chance, you never know what you can find.
Yeah. Colby, I didn't hear what happened with DeAndre Baker, but you could just tell me. Movies are so underrated nowadays. Shows are like, I know a lot of people that watch shows. I do. I'm not going to say I don't, but they're all around my age. But the younger people, I don't know what it is. They're just not into it. I guess also I heard the attention span isn't it. Because the thing is we grew up with like less technology, I guess. Mm-hmm. So our attention span tends to be a little better with that kind of stuff. But even me, I feel like my attention span is not the best as it used to be. But I love watching movies. I love watching shows. You could just learn so much from that stuff,
No, absolutely, I agree, and that's why I watch them all the time. I'm watching different.
Wait, for real? I'm sorry, Louis, but this is breaking news. Apparently, DeAndre Baker got busted to pay off the witnesses, and the Giants cut him. Wow! Why is it that when I'm doing a precision podcast, this happens? That is.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
They cut him. I didn't know that part. I didn't even know that. I thought, wow. I mean, I never liked DeAndre Baker anyway, but that is crazy.
That is crazy.
Hey, wow. Kim, so the topic's actually movies, but somebody just said that he got cut or expected to cut him. Well, I think if he got caught, paying off the witness. Yeah. Wow. What do you think? I mean, what do you think about this whole thing, Louis, that's breaking right now in front of us?
Well, listen, man, it's crazy that this is once again happening on the stream when it comes to breaking news. But to be
Yeah.
honest, I was not really a big DeAndre Baker fan to
Me
begin with,
neither.
but
But it
it's
sucks to lose
still
back like
but
that.
it's still surprising anyway because and I mean if he does expect to get cut, I just think from the Giants they're just looking at it as we're not trying to bring any kind of trouble to our organization. We're trying to have a good character locker room. So I just think they don't want any distractions. So if they're gonna cut DeAndre Baker, then I think it's the best thing to do. So I
You know,
think that's the way they're seeing it if
but
they're gonna do it.
we wasted a
It's okay.
first round pick on him, you know?
Yeah, I know. Hmm.
Um, so that's the thing. Yeah. Oh, man. I didn't
That
like
is
the
crazy.
Baker. So, I mean, I made a video before about him when he first got busted because, he's a guy that doesn't like, he never took football seriously so far. I'm not saying he can't change, but to
Hmm.
get off paying off witnesses, that means he probably did it, right? Like, what the fuck?
If you're paying off witnesses, you're guilty of something. So
Yeah.
you're guilty of
And
a crime.
I was the guy that was like, well, I hope he's not guilty. I was hoping he was innocent, because I thought he might be. You never know who's innocent or guilty, right?
Yeah, no, and they said that not just him, but it was also Quentin Dunbar, the cornerback for Seattle, that they both paid off the alleged victims. It says 55K was what they're saying, 55,000.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to talk about that, but that is breaking news, Louis. That's hard to ignore, like, and we're both Giants fans, so that's something that, yeah.
Oh man.
Why do we waste the first round pick? Good question. Because we had no idea he was going to be like this.
Hmm.
Nobody would ever thought that. I don't know. Kobe says, are you going to make a video? Probably later, if anything. Not right now, because obviously we have a position podcast, but this is crazy news.
That is.
Yeah, we are all rooting for the guys. We don't want guys to go to jail or get cut or any of that kind of stuff or be doing crazy stuff. But, it speaks to like his maturity level, I guess. Why would he have done that? Also, it took a while for this to come out, though. That's what's kind of shocking about all this. It's like wasn't this like months ago when he did this?
It was a few months ago. I'm kind
Yeah.
of surprised that it's kind of
Now
out right
they're
now.
finding out all this information. It's crazy. I guess somebody launched an investigation and found it out. I wonder how you find that out too. Like, you must be really stupid to get caught doing that too.
I mean, the thing is also you got to be careful who you do things around because there are, inside sources that will lurk somewhere and then they'll either see or hear something and then next they start reporting this stuff and then it's like it goes through social media and then obviously once it hits the mainstream media, then that's when they report it. So yeah, like again, with any athlete, you got to be careful what you do because it's like the media is always lurking everywhere. You don't know who's gonna post, especially with what social media is today. It's like you really can't escape it unless you really keep a low key profile. But so you really have to be careful on like what you do because it can easily get out there so fast. It probably wouldn't have gotten out as fast back in the day. It would have eventually, but not as fast as it is today. So got to be careful.
He probably would have been playing and they would have found out. Like I was slowly back in the day, like you said, news spreads really quickly now. Yeah, and I think there's cameras everywhere. There's people. Things are recorded. Is my point. So you never know, and you never know who you can trust, who you're around. That guy could be a mole. He could, rat you out. It's just tough. It just sucks so much.
Wow. Yeah, no, it does.
Like, damn. Yeah. So yesterday we were on this podcast and they were talking about like DeAndre Baker catching the most interceptions probably for the Giants. Well, I don't think that's happening anymore.
Yeah, that's gone.
I picked Bradbury. I think Bradbury's going to have the most interceptions. But people said that he's the first cornerback and people are going to shy away from him. But I just think he's the most talented cornerback we have. That's why I think he's going to get the most.
I think he'll lead our team in interceptions. I think. James Bradbury.
Kim and Rex, I got rid of a lot of wrenches because people were just hiding people.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? NFL officials are expected to wear face coverings and gloves for 2020 season. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have to do that, Phoenix Machine. That would be weird if they didn't wear that kind of stuff. If I was a referee, I would definitely want to wear a face covering and gloves and all that. Are you gonna make a video on this or like anything, or you're just gonna be like whatever? How about DeAndre Baker?
No, after hearing this, I definitely might make a video on that. Probably coming on Sunday. I'll probably work on that one and just put all the details out there. So stay tuned for that one because, like I said, I'm not big on him, but this is still breaking news and surprising at the very least, especially with the way the news came out. So I will be doing that.
Players? This is something. What's with the Giants players getting in trouble all the time? DeAndre Baker, the kicker, Rosas. It's like,
what's the latest on him?
I don't know. I think he's still on the team. I don't even think he got cut yet.
I haven't heard anything.
They're going to cut him instantly.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from him in a while. So I'm like, how come they haven't come with anything with Rosas? That's weird.
Oh, Kim Mexico, it was nothing personal. I just got rid of all the wrenches. Plus, I have not seen you in a while. Kim in Mexico, it's been over a year. If you have not Kim in Mexico, please subscribe to Louis. Please do it. He's a great YouTuber. I like working with him. I've been on his channel. He's been on mine. I hope to be on his channel again sometime. Okay, AK has a question. Yeah. Who is your dark horse team in the NBA playoffs? Louis. And then I'll answer, I guess.
All right, dark horses. I have Miami for one. Let me see. In terms of dark horse,
for me, Boston is one.
Boston is another one for sure. Yeah, those two. I think they both can get to the Eastern Conference.
I'll never say Miami, Louis. I don't care. You could put a gun to my head. I still want to say Miami. I'm not saying Miami, goddammit. You know what I found out today, Louis? Do you know who Scooter Magruder is?
No. Who is that?
Okay, he's a big YouTuber, big Cowboys YouTuber. I found out today he is a Magic fan. I was like really shocked.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. A Cowboys fan. Okay, a Cowboy. Oh wow, Cowboys fan that is a fan of the Magic.
Yeah, because I think he lives in Florida, but for some reason he chose the Cowboys as his team.
I mean, it's weird like that because there will be people
Cowboys fans here in New York City. You know that, Louis. I mean, come on, they're everywhere.
They're everywhere, exactly. Listen, man, I had somebody who was from LA who was telling me they were a Pistons fan when I was doing a live stream of the Cavs and the Pistons earlier this year, and they were like, "I'm from LA, but I'm a huge Pistons fan." All I could say was how, like, but I was like, "But it is what it is." But there's just something about that team that they just like, so it is what it is.
Yeah. So dark horse, we said. Okay, so we said the Celtics. You said Miami Heat as well, which I could see, even though I will never say Miami Heat. And what about the West?
In the Western Conference, I would have picked the Nuggets, but that's really going to depend on Jokic. I know that they may not seem a NBA Finals team, but I still have a dark horse just considering with everything that's going on. I got them. I hate to pick this team because I don't think they're going to go far, but I'm still going to go with them anyway, and that would be the Houston Rockets. Just depending on with
Harden and Westbrook are not there.
Yeah, that to me is pretty crazy. And I actually like OKC in the Western Conference as well. They're another low-key dark horse team just for the fact how they've played better than people expected. They're a solid defensive team, and they have good leadership and good coaching. So I don't think they're gonna get far, but I like what they've done.
Yeah, the reason I knew AK, who asked this question, by the way, I knew because he was talking about Dallas. That I knew the whole reason why he brought up this topic is to see if we're gonna say Dallas. And Dallas could be pretty good, but I don't know if they're ready yet. Luka's amazing, but Kristaps is just like he's on and off. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's not that good. And you need more players than that. But I think they are going to be pretty good in the future, They have a young core.
Yeah, they're a couple of years away. The thing is with Porzingis, the reason he's on and off is because of the system that Luka plays in. That's the thing. Luka has to learn to play with Porzingis in order for them to try to get continuity together. And with their team, they're really an offensive team. They still have to become a better defensive team. So they have to try to take steps there. But they do have some pieces. I think that they're like 2 years away from them becoming more contenders. But they have to get better defensively. But I think definitely for them, they can definitely take steps in the future.
Yeah. NBA team that did shock me, though, and I'm not saying this just for Karam, but the Thunder, they shocked me because I did not think that they would be this good, and I'm trying to figure out, like, besides Shea and Steven Adams, who do they really have that I like? Chris Paul's old. I don't know if he's still good. Who do they have? Am I missing a player or something here that's like, I know Dennis Schroeder's okay, but he's more like, is he like come off the bench? Like, who am I missing that they have that is?
They got some good young players. They have Diallo. They have Terrence Ferguson, good athletic young player. I'm trying to figure out who they are. Oh, they have Dennis Schroeder off the bench.
Yeah,
Six-man candidate. So they they don't have as much in terms of depth, but I just think that they play very well together. I was just really surprised because I thought that they were going to be a lottery team. I didn't expect Chris Paul to still be able to play as well as he did. Shea Gilgeous, I was already high on him with the Clippers, and he's just been even better with the Thunder.
This guy, Lugens Dort, or Luke, I don't know how to say his name. Lugens Dort, or whatever his name is. Brandon Rogers says you're goated. Instead of saying people are goated, why don't you ask us a question? How about that? Come on, you have all these, and don't try to make it not a sports question because.
Oh, Lugens Dort, that's right. I forgot about him.
Lou Dort. Okay, I don't know the Thunder roster really well, Karam. No offense, I don't really pay attention to that team.
He's from Canada,
and they're not.
He's from Canada.
They are a pretty decent young team. I do give them credit because they're like in the West and they're like in 4th place or 5th place. I don't even know something.
They're in 5th.
5th, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it seems like no matter what, Louis. We could talk about anything. We could be talking about the moon, and somehow someone will bring it back to sports.
Oh yeah, it always works that way, man.
No, I'm not saying don't ask sports questions, but it's like, guys, is this the only thing you guys do? Then they'll probably be like, hey, this is a sports channel, which they are correct, but this is a little bit. I like to mix it up. We talk about sports all the time. Okay. Oh, I got a question. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I've tried it. It's good.
You do like it? Oh my God, Louis! I respect your opinion, but how do you like pineapple on pizza? Come on, man.
I don't know. The thing is, I like pineapple. I don't know. At first, I was not a fan of it because I at first thought pineapple and pizza don't mix. The thing is, I don't eat it often, but I just gave it a shot, and it actually, for some reason, it actually tasted good. Am I going to eat it often? No, but. I just gave it a shot. So, I mean, it was actually good. I don't eat it often, but I just gave it a shot one day and I said, you know what, let me just try it. And actually was pretty good. Normally, but before, I just never thought that pineapple and pizza mixed. But I mean, that's the way that pizza shops apparently want to put that as a mix. I mean, but
it's not you, Louis. I'm laughing at the questions. It's just will you call UFC? I might. I don't know yet. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to see how many people want me to call it because I've never called it. Okay. I'm new to UFC. I'm learning the fighters and stuff. My brother wants me to watch it with him, so I don't know what to do. But Brandon Rogers, what an excellent question. Do you guys have Verizon? What kind of question is that? Yes, I do have Verizon, but like, why is that? Okay, do you have Verizon, Louis? Like, why is this a question? Come on, Brandon.
I don't have Verizon. I don't have Verizon. I am considering switching though, so I will. That would be pretty cool.
In New York, you don't get anything better than Verizon. Like you get service in the subways, bro. I make calls underneath the tunnel. I got a little too far, but you do get service in the tunnels. Although, who's been taking subways lately? Nobody. Isn't that crazy? Because of the virus, nobody takes the subway. Guess what that means? Time to take the subway because there's nobody taking it. When you go on the subway, the worst thing. I'm just joking, by the way. Don't take the subway, not yet.
Yeah, no, but looks like you froze a little bit. Looks like
All
a
right, there we
channel.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my internet was acting all weird. I think we're back. Yeah, we're good now. Okay, pineapple is nasty. I agree. By itself, it's okay, but on pizza, it doesn't belong. Anyone who likes pineapple on pizza is not real. Hey, I'm just going by what the chat is saying. If somebody said they liked it, how do people like Mountain Dew? Okay, the reason why I like this Mountain Dew. You ever had the Blue Jolly Rancher, which is considered one of the better Jolly Ranchers? It's like if you took that and you melted it and you made it into a drink. It just tastes really good, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you're not a big fan of the Mountain Dew, right? The Mountain Dew.
I've tried every single Mountain Dew there is imaginable. So like I used to drink it. I don't drink it anymore. No, I just don't drink soda in general like I used to. But Mountain Dew was one of the go-to drinks that I would always drink, whether it was a regular one or it was the red one or it was the orange one or I would drink the Jolly Rancher one. So it was any one of those. I'm always drink on the consistent. But I don't do it as much anymore, obviously. But yeah, Mountain Dew was one of the sodas I was buying. Woo, constantly.
What I don't understand is Brandon says Rich is the GOAT. I thought Louis was the GOAT. There can only be one GOAT. You know what GOAT means, guys? It means greatest of all time. How can we have multiple GOATs? I don't understand.
That's what the word GOAT means, guys.
No, AK, I'm not asking that question. That is a nasty question. Did you see it? Like when he wrote in the chat?
I didn't even see. Let me see. I could just check on the phone right there. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see it now. Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about.
All right. So.
And then somebody just, and then Karam just says, I had Mountain Dew a couple of times. Okay, that's great. That doesn't tell me anything. Soda makes you chubby. Well, that's not true. Because look at me. I drink a lot of soda, not chubby. It is not true. It depends on your metabolism and all that. Yes, it can lead to people gaining weight and all that. But I drink soda like water. Like people drink water.
It does at times make you, it can make you thirsty sometimes.
You're not a soda guy. I get that. Yeah, I get that. But I like soda. I'm guilty with that. I can't even lie and say I don't like soda. But I'm also one of those guys that hate health freaks. I hate people that tell me what to eat and what to drink. And let's talk about this, Louis. I got a great topic right now for you.
All right, cool.
Don't you hate vegans? Like not what they stand for, but don't you hate like how they try to tell you like how much better they are than you because they don't eat meat and stuff? Maybe this is just my experience, but this is what I have. In New York, you have a lot of these guys. What do you think, Louis?
Oh my God, I cannot tell you this whole vegan thing. Listen, I respect what vegan people eat and stuff like that, but it drives me nuts when they're always constantly talking about like vegan is the way to go, and it's like you gotta do that, and it's like just stop, like really, like listen, you like what you like, and it's like look, I like what I like. Look, I'm still alive, I'm good. Listen, I eat and drink things that are still healthy too, and it's like I can do that without even going vegan. It's how you take care of yourself, honestly. Like
as long as you balance it out, you should be good. Brandon Rogers says I haven't had soda in 5 months. Well, that's your opinion. You can have soda 5 months, not that make you any better. That's also something people always talk about how soda is bad, and I agree, it is bad for you. But you don't become any better just because you don't have it. And how do we really know you didn't have it? How do we know you know? And you probably didn't. You probably don't know what good soda is. That's probably why you haven't had it in 5 months, right? I'm tired of people that always try to be like they're superior than you because they don't like, especially with the vegan. All right, first we started with vegetarians, and I could deal with those guys because they could eat cheese and they could drink milk. But then it was the guys that went vegan, where it was like you can't have pizza. You gotta have this other thing called vegan pizza that doesn't even taste the same.
Then there's that.
What does that mean? I hope Louis is a health freak. What do you mean by that? I don't think he is.
What do you mean by that one?
He's not a healthy guy. But when I say a health freak is when guys go overboard with that shit. So annoying.
No, I mean, it's good to be healthy and be good to be conscious.
Listen, Ron, it's nothing wrong with being a vegetarian or vegan or anything. Just keep it to yourselves. Do it for yourself. You telling other people and then like trying to get, you know what they do? What they always try to do? They try to show you that like video where they slaughter the animals and stuff and try to make you feel guilty about it. That shit doesn't work for me. I've watched that, and yes, I feel bad for a little bit, but then I still be eating meat later on. So like, what the hell?
there's still people like that who still eat despite the fact that either they don't want to see it or they've seen it, but they're just going to continue on, just doing that. So
Veganism is classist. Poor people can't afford a proper vegan diet, and vegans shun non. Yes, they shun the non-vegans. Like I said, if you're a vegan, don't get offended. I'm not saying whatever you're doing is wrong, but just keep it to yourself. I don't go bragging around about all the meat I eat. You don't see me doing that.
it's true. Dirty Rob
You
is
should.
speaking facts.
Hey, I never said we never said you shouldn't eat fruits and vegetables, but you can eat meat at the same time, or if you don't want to, that's your prerogative. You can do whatever.
No, yeah, no. Dirty Rob is
Yeah, we
facts.
need both.
Speaking truth.
I agree with that with Dirty Rob. I think we need both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's he talking about? TSR, nice video. What was? Okay, this is a good question. What was one of the best NBA playoff series you ever watched in the 2010s? Damn it, why'd you put 2010s? If you went 1 year before that, I could have talked about how the Magic were in the Lakers and all that. I could have been talking about the playoff series where we beat LeBron James. But you said 2010s. We really haven't had really good playoff series, the Magic. Now, there's other teams, obviously. If I had to pick, I think I don't like LeBron. Not a big LeBron fan. I'll say it right now. I think he is a great player, but I'm tired of his antics. He's kind of annoying. But that one where he came back 3-1 against the Warriors, that was great. You cannot say it wasn't. Now, the only thing was Draymond Green was suspended for one of those games. Maybe that would have had a different thing, but he still did it. Still give him a lot of respect. And he won. And actually, I was on his side because I wanted to see Cleveland win a championship and for him to do it. And that was so great. What about for you? What was one of the best playoff series you ever watched in 2010s?
I actually would have to go with that Lakers Celtics 7-game series that happened actually in 2010 between the Celtics and the Lakers. I thought
Wow,
that was
you were like right on the cusp, like right there. Okay, that's
right
like
on the
why
cusp,
do
just
you
because.
think that was the best one?
For me, it was because is that it still kind of reminded me of that old school. Because even though we were transitioning into a new era where we are now, like they still played defense, and it was like kind of like a defensive struggle. I kind of like those kind of games, just because like it's so tight, it's like so tense, and it's like one big play, and next thing you know, you can get them. It's like where there's really like no momentum. Both teams are like it's like ugly. It's like almost like a war type of thing, and especially what I like about those is that the games are very close, so there's more pressure, more intensity, more tense. I like those kind of moments because you're just waiting for that one big play, and then the next thing you know, like it's kind of like what more so of a relief. But it was that was a classic set, especially that seventh game. That was probably one of the ugliest seventh games I've seen in my life, and it was
Yeah,
only
I do
4 point
remember
game.
that. Yeah,
So
that was a great series. That was.
that was a
I
great
think
series.
Lakers and Celtics. Oh man, you know, it's like they're always. They used to always be in it. They have so many. Both of them have like the most amount of championships. Right? It's the Celtics and the Lakers. So somebody asked a really good question. Actually, it was Jeff in the zone, which no offense, kind of surprised me, Jeff. What was one of the best MLB World Series? For me, I'm going to answer mine right away because I already know. 2011, Cardinals winning the World Series, or that was just so great. We beat the Rangers in 7. We came back, we were down, and we won. The other one was really good too, but that one we just destroyed. We destroyed the Tigers. So that one was my favorite when we beat the Rangers in 7. Because there's so many times where the Cardinals were 1 out away from losing that whole thing. Then David Freese hits like a home run, like he gets a hit, and he's hit home runs. He was very clutch in that whole thing, and we won that one when I didn't think we were going to win that World Series. I thought we were going to lose because a lot of times we could have been eliminated. Now you're a Yankees fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess it's one of the Yankees World Series, or are you going to go with some other World Series?
No, I could go a couple of with the Yankees World Series that I've seen, but at the same time, I will say this: that Cardinals Rangers series was actually one of my favorites. The crazy part about that one is that I remember David Freese won both the League Championship Series MVP and World Series MVP in that postseason. He was just unbelievable with the way he was hitting, and he came up with some huge clutch hits in both series. He was just an unbelievable hitter. But for me, I think I know we lost. But I think the World Series in 2001 against the Diamondbacks, and I hate the fact that we lost to that team, but that will go down, especially with what happened with 9/11, with the way that that series went down, 7 game series. You know, we end up losing in Arizona. Mariano, who I always thought was kind, that was really the first time for me that I said to myself, like, maybe he's not as invincible as I thought, because it's like he spoils me with every time when he comes in. You just think the game is over, and he didn't record a single out in the ninth inning when we lost. And I remember that hit that Luis Gonzalez hit over in between Jeter and Soriano to win that World Series. That was an all time classic to win. So that was actually one of my favorites of all
Yeah,
time.
that was a great one.
Uh, what you mean? Stop reminding him of the 2011 one? Oh, because he's a Rangers fan. I see.
Yeah, he's a Rangers fan. But it honestly was the best one because we went to 7 games. It was really competitive. Yeah.
Another one that I like. Another one that I like. In terms of well, in terms of the World Series, I actually, this was actually a classic. And I was too young. I was too young then, but I ended up watching it on YouTube recently. It was actually the '91 series between the Twins and the Braves. And the reason I like that one so much was because it was two teams that were in last place the previous year. So they go from last to first in just one season. So they both have like these Cinderella seasons. They play seven. They go 7 games. I remember the classic Game 7 between Jack Morris and a young John Smoltz. I thought that was it was really cool. They both went deep into the game, and the Twins won 1-0. I thought that was and I remember that classic home run that Kirby Puckett hit in Game 6. Just definitely one of the greatest World Series that I've ever seen, and that Game 7 was definitely one of the best of all time. So then there's that, and then the '96 series against the Braves, down 2 games to none. We beat 3 games in Atlanta, and then we come back and win at our ballpark. So,
I knew you were going to bring up that one. That was like,
I had to bring that one because that was just the thing is the '96 team for me doesn't get enough credit just because that was kind of like a Cinderella run for me because we weren't really expected to go. I know we were going to be a better team, but I didn't see us as World Series contenders that year. And for us to do as well as we did in the postseason that year, that was just a magical championship run. So the '96 team will always be like near and dear, just because the games were all close in Atlanta, and then with obviously in Game 6 at home. So those are like the standout World Series for me. But there's been a lot of ones that I've watched.
There's so many great World Series. Brian says telling us how to eat, drink. No, I'm doing the opposite. I'm saying stop telling us what to eat, drink. If you like soda, drink soda. If you don't like it, then don't drink it. That's all I'm saying. And don't brag about the fact that you don't drink soda. Doesn't make you better, Brandon. Doesn't make anybody worse for drinking it. Okay. Now, Gideon, thank you, because he said 2000s, not going to talk about the Magic. And when we played the Cleveland Cavaliers, everybody thought LeBron was going to beat the Magic. They thought, done deal. Magic were the underdogs. But guess what happened? We beat them in 6 games. And it was great because Dwight Howard actually played really well because guess what? Cleveland didn't have a center. And Hedo Turkoglu played well. Rashard Lewis played well also. But Dwight Howard was the main guy who played well. It was fun to see. Also we went to the finals that year. I was hoping that could be the first time, but damn, Kobe Bryant, destroyed us. Damn. So what is one of the best series you watched in the 2000s?
Oh, there's a lot of them. I could think of Lakers and Blazers in 2000. That's classic 7-game series. I remember watching all 7 games. There's the Lakers and the Kings of 2002. I thought the Kings really were going to beat the Lakers that year. That was a classic 7-game series. I could look at Sixers and Raptors with AI against Vince Carter. Shout out to Caden, appreciate you.
Yes, Caden.
There's the Celtics and the Cavaliers of 2008. That went 7 games. That was actually a classic. So there's that. Oh, I could even say your Magic when they faced the Celtics in the second round. That actually went 7 games. So that was actually, I know KG wasn't there, but it's still was a lot of.
Yeah, we beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a classic 7-game series. Actually, I think in games 3 and 4 there were game winners on both ends. I think one for the Magic and then one. I think Big Baby hit that game winner in game 4 to tie the series. So, but yeah, that was definitely. Oh, actually, I also got to also go with the Celtics and the Bulls in that first round that went 7 games. There, 3 of the games had 3 different overtime games. We had that triple overtime in Game 6. That was just, I would probably have to say that's probably my number one series probably of the
Well,
2000s.
yeah, that's true. But I was just thinking about something. I just realized the Pacers against the Heat. That was really good because there were times when when you thought the Pacers could win this thing.
Yeah.
You know, Paul George. People say he didn't play like Paul George played extremely well when he could. I mean, he didn't have as much talent as that team, and he competed with them. Lance Stevenson stepping up when he needed to. Remember he blew in LeBron's ear.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. That made me laugh so much.
Yes. Oh my God, that was hilarious. And that was another great series. Just that wasn't a Magic series. That was a great one there.
Oh yeah.
Pistons beating the Lakers was, oh man, my favorite. Because I just don't like the Lakers, man. So I was so happy when the Pistons beat them. I'm pretty sure Dirty Rob will love that. 2004 when the Pacers played the Pistons, Malice at the Palace, but that was different. That was not in the playoffs. We're talking playoff series. I think that was just a regular season game, wasn't it?
That was a regular season game.
Yeah,
man.
I remember that was a great fight. That's all it was. The game itself sucked. The Pacers were destroying the Pistons, and the Pistons were just angry. The game itself was not a good game. It was the brawl that was kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah, no, that was crazy because actually the league actually changed like really from that incident, especially because there was a lot of young kids in the stands, and I remember the fight just pretty much dominated the headlines because the game was really not that good. The Pacers were up by damn near 20 points, and all it took was that Ron Artest foul on Ben Wallace.
If he never laid on that table, he could have had a different career. He could have probably had a Hall of Fame career instead of this bullshit. I was a big fan of his. You know, he was so good to watch until that happened. Then I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I know the Pistons were the defending champions that year, but I thought the Pacers
were so they were right there with them.
Yeah, and and the Pistons were good, but and they're a great defensive team. But I felt that the Pacers were the best team when you look at their talent from top to bottom. I thought the Pacers were going to be the next best team, and that Reggie Miller was actually going to get a championship to end his career. It just didn't happen, and the Malice in the Palace changed everything. Artest missed out.
Yeah, that
every 3 games.
They could have been a final contender.
Yeah, that's true. It messed up their whole season. Some of the guys on the team, on both teams, actually missed a lot of games, but more so for the Pacers. I felt bad for them because I felt like they would have knocked off Detroit in 05, but so much went on that season that they just really were never the same after that. And that's what caused Reggie Miller to retire, because he said that once that happened, he realized that it was turning into a young man's game. So once he said that, then he said, because he said he could have actually played a couple of more years if he wanted to, but he decided to retire that season in the playoffs. And I felt bad because I felt that he could have gotten a ring.
Karam wants me to go through heartbreakers of Magic. Another one was when we lost to the Rockets, obviously, because I think if we win that, we would have kept Shaq. Everything would have been different. I really do. Because I think they would have valued Shaq more. Because I think Shaq also didn't show up in that series. He could have played much better. Hakeem kind of owned him. You know, he was young, but he should have showed up more. That was a heartbreaker. Because I really wanted Shaq to get a championship for Orlando. How great would that have been? You know, that nobody could keep bringing this fact that the Magic don't have championship. But you know what? People will always say stuff. Because even if we do win a championship, then they'll say you only have one. Then you win another, you only have 2. Like, people are just ridiculous with it. Who cares about championships, man? I like this team, and I'm sticking with them, whether they win or not. God damn it.
I was going to say this. I think that if, let's say that the Magic do win a championship, what would have been cool about that would have been they would have won the championship in just their 6th year in existence.
So quick,
and then for Shaq to be able to win in just his 3rd year, like that would have been unbelievable. And
we're one of the youngest basketball teams still, like, you know, one of them. Even though Magic lost in 5 games, 1 and 3. Yeah, it was between the Lakers was close. They could have the first game or one of those games they could have won, but they lost it. It was just crazy. I broke my controller. I can't believe PS4. Okay. The Magic demolished the Houston Rockets in 2020. Yeah, we beat them because guess what? We have big men. They don't. You can't play small ball against us. It won't work. It will not work. What do you think about that? That the Magic destroyed them by 20 points this year?
I'm actually not surprised because the Magic, for one, have a good defensive team, and the
Yeah.
thing is with the Rockets, the small ball can only go so far because at some point it's like you're gonna get tired, and the thing is that once you get tired and you don't have legs, then you have to deal with physicality, which the Magic have already. So you put physicality with tired legs, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose, and the thing is, the Rockets they shoot on volume. It's not like they're shooting with efficiency.
Yeah.
So that's big because now you have to really depend if you get hot, and if they're not hot from three, then it's over because they're the live by the three, die by the three type of basketball team, which is why I don't. As I'm not trying to hate on Houston, but I just don't think they're going to go far with this style of play. And just considering how Westbrook and Harden are, I just don't see that team winning a championship. There's just no way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And Gideon brings up the Magic lost a 20-point lead. It's not even that. Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws in a row. If he makes even one of those, the game's over because it would be a 4-point game. Even if they hit that 3 at the end, it's over. But then it went to overtime. Once it went to overtime, you felt like it was over because basketball is very momentum. Like the momentum just shifted towards Houston at that point. And then once they started winning, that when they won game 1, you knew the series was over. The Magic were just like gassed. Which I wish that's not something that happened. They should have came back in games 2 and 3 and 4 and fought harder.
Yeah, I just think that I felt like that was the kind of their issue. I felt like it just like hurt them mentally because if you look at game 2, they were down by as many as 20 points. They blew a 20-point lead in game 1, and then they were down by 20 points in game 2, which was weird. And then even when they started to come back, it was just like not enough. And they had chances to win in Houston, but they lost in close games in both games 3 and 4. So it just tells you that the Magic they were the better team. They just didn't play like the better team.
Oh no, I think so
Houston,
too. And some people came up small after Nick Anderson missed those free throws. He wasn't the same player. He couldn't hit shots anymore. He just totally forgot how to play. I don't know what happened. But before that, he was a really good player. He was he averaged like 20 points a game some seasons. I was like, wow, this guy's decent. He's pretty good. Oh, he got a free throw? Oh, he's an 80% free throw shooter. Guess what? He'll make 80% free throw shooter means he's going to make at least one of the 4. He missed all of them. I was like, what the hell? And damn, Alex, why you got to bring that up about the Nick Anderson missing the 4 free throws? I don't want to talk about that no more.
Oh, yeah.
Top 5 sports movies. That's very hard because, there's a lot of good sports movies. Not even 5 is much. Let's go with top 3. Do top 3 if you can. Like top 3 of your favorite sports movies.
Dang, oh my God. And I've seen so many, man. I'm just trying to think of
ones out there.
Trying to think. I want to say, what was the last
I'll say mine then because I kind of got mine. Remember the Titans is number 1 for me. I love that movie. It's great.
Number 2. That's number 2 on my list.
Oh, okay. That's respectable. Rudy. And I would also say damn, you're right. I feel like now I'm missing some movies out.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Varsity Blues, I love. Varsity Blues is a great movie. Sandlot. I guess you could do 5. Sandlot, and a 5th one. I like baseball movies too. Bo Durham. I like Bo Durham. I also like that movie Major League. Major League, even though it's a comedy sports movie, it's really funny.
Oh, Angels in the Outfield. I just remember.
That's great too. Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. So you got that one.
Your 3, Louis.
All right, so Angels in the Outfield. Remember the Titans. I'm trying to think of. Let me see. So then there's that.
White Man Can't Jump. That's a great movie.
Which one?
White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, okay. With Wesley Snipes. Okay.
Yeah. I could go on for like ever.
There was those. For some reason, I like a lot of the Air Bud movies. For some reason, I was big on that one.
No. There used to be a troll that used to come in here. He used to just say Air Bud is the greatest movie ever.
I think it's one of the best that I've seen. Wouldn't call it the greatest, but wouldn't call it. There was all the Air Bud movies. I was trying to think of another one.
Alex, you didn't have to bring it up. You did not have to bring up Nick Anderson. Stop. I, I still like him though. He was a player for us. He choked, but I still like him because he's a good guy, and he actually works with the Magic now. So
Okay, cool.
the
The longest.
executive, right? Nick Anderson for the Magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The longest yard. Oh, that's right. I saw that one. That was another one of my favorites.
Longest yard is great. Sandlot's great too.
I saw that. I saw longest yard. That's right. That's actually one of my favorites.
I think the older one is the better longest yard. You watch the older one, Dirty Rob.
I gotta think. There was what was that movie?
Oh my God, that's a great question, Gideon. Oh my God, I'm not gonna forget that. Hold on. Whenever you're ready, bro, because this is such a great question.
Hold on. I'm trying to think of that other movie that I saw. Oh my God.
What kind of movie is it? What kind of sport movie is it?
This one was a basketball movie. I'm just trying to think of.
Coach Carter?
No, not that one. This was in the mid '90s. I'm trying to. I can't forget. I don't remember the name because I saw this a long time ago when I was younger, and I saw this in the movie theater.
Like Mike?
No, like I did see like Mike. I thought that one was okay.
Yeah.
This one starred with Marlon Wayans. I'm just trying to remember the name of it. It was when his brother died on the basketball court. I like that movie a lot. It was a little bit. Oh, there's Coach Carter. I like that one.
Coach Carter, yeah. I said, yeah.
I think The Sixth Man. That was the name. There you go. The Sixth Man. That was a '90s movie that I like that movie a lot. So that was that one.
That's great.
We Are Marshall. Oh yeah, that's hilarious too.
We Are Marshall. There's so many movies.
So many movies. Okay.
Who is the most hated? The KD Warriors, the Big Three Heat, or the Bad Boy Pistons? It's a great question, Gideon. But I'll say this. It's very hard to say because these guys are all at different time periods. I never hated the Bad Boy Pistons because I was like just born at the time when they were a thing. For myself, it was the Big Three Heat because it's the Miami Heat and it's LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade talking about how many championships are they going to win. And guess what? They never got to the number they said. They only won 2. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. How long did they went until? Do you know, Louis?
He said 7. He went on to
7, and they only won 2. That's laughable. Okay, now you tell me which one do you hate the most?
So this is kind of an easy question just for the fact that it's a tough one because when you look at the KD Warriors, that lasted what 3 seasons, and the thing is that really more so it was really more so the media and like people who just didn't like Golden State for that matter. They were kind of hated, but I think it was just a little bit. I don't know. It's a little bit weird when it comes to the Warriors because they were hated once he joined, but it's weird. When you talk about the Heat, whew, the crazy part is when LeBron went down there, I hated that team so much. I kid you not. Arguably for that once. The funny thing is for that one season,
he might come to New York Knicks. Some people actually had this conspiracy that he might come to the Knicks. The Heat was actually a team nobody thought that he would go to. That was actually a shocker, if you remember.
It was between the Knicks and the Bulls because I was hearing Dwayne Wade talking a lot that him and LeBron possibly could have been Bulls, and LeBron was thinking about going to the Knicks. I heard they said that for some reason they said that the Knicks really screwed up on that. The funny thing is I actually would have welcomed him to come because, like I said, we haven't had a superstar of his caliber, so that would have been nice.
You guys in the playoffs every year. He's that good of a player, you know.
But when he went to the Heat, man, it was just the thing was, and then when he guaranteed those 7 championships, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, I really want this guy to lose so damn bad. I said, if he gets to the finals, I hope he loses. I was praying for him to lose so bad, like, I was hoping there was a team that would humble him. But I think it's still the Bad Boy Pistons only because the entire league hated this team. I didn't see the Bad Boy Pistons.
Here's one thing I gotta say about the Pistons. A lot of people hated them. I agree with you, right? But when I look back at it, I love the Bad Boy Pistons. Why? Because basketball was physical back then. You could do stuff. You can't do any of that now. And that was the only way they could beat Jordan and that whole Bulls team. But I get why they were hated because they played dirty and all that. But I actually like that style of basketball. But that style of basketball is pretty much
Yeah, the reason that they're hated because a lot of people felt like they were trying to end careers. If you look at the way that they
yeah.
physically played and stuff like that, I mean, it's like though the media didn't like them. I remember Isaiah Thomas was not liked. He was really well not liked by the media and a lot of the guys in the league, a lot of his peers, which is great. It was crazy. But like I said, man, it's tough to say because, like you said, it's about eras and who you grew up watching. I could easily, like I
Well,
said, I could eat.
Bad Boy Pistons though. None of us saw that era. I mean, that's
Yeah,
I
so
gotta say the Heat. Plus, I'm an Orlando Magic fan. I always hate the Heat anytime they do something good. I mean, KD Warriors, I hated that probably the second most. Yeah, but
yeah.
like, I mean, it was like, okay, Warriors are gonna win all the time. I was kind of happy it happened, to be honest, because like at least LeBron's not gonna win now. And then he can never beat KD on the KD on the Warriors was like LeBron's worst nightmare because he's like, oh shit, championships are just going away from me now.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, and that's why no, and I I actually appreciate the Detroit Pistons because it's because of them. I have an appreciation for what the kind of basketball that they play. That's why I appreciate those guys so much. Um, with Isaiah, with Joe Dumars, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, like Rick Mahorn, like those guys actually made. When I look back on it, you look back on it, it's like, man, that was a dirty team. Like who would wanna actually like respect those guys? But it's like when you look back on it, it's like, man, I actually really miss, that kind of physical basketball that they used to play because but the thing was they were a smart team too. They just didn't get enough credit. What overshadowed their intelligence was the fact that they were so physical and a lot of people just didn't
Oh,
like
no,
that.
yeah. They had so many great players that they won't even get noticed because of that. People just think that they were a dirty team. No, Isaiah Thomas was a great player. They had Joe Dumars. They had a lot of great players on that Pistons team.
Mark Aguirre was on there,
Yeah,
Dave Johnson,
Wire, yeah.
microwave. Like so, yeah, no.
Such a good team. Also, it's also a shame that Isaiah Thomas got kind of shunned from everything because of that. I feel like Michael Jordan. I get that he's upset, but I don't think he should have left him off the team. What do you think about that? Do you think he should have been left off the team, the Dream Team?
There's a lot of controversy on if he deserves to be on that team.
You
I'm
don't.
gonna record it. I'm
One
gonna
of the
record it.
best point guards ever. He never got on it.
Yeah, no, yeah. Bad Boy Pistons were ahead of their time. Like you're right, Jay. And Isaiah Thomas is I say this all the time. Uh, he's the most impactful little man to ever play the game of basketball. His IQ is unbelievable at his size. He had amazing handle because he could keep his dribble so tight, so you really couldn't steal the ball from him. So he was so tough to guard because he was so quick. And he was a hell of a scorer before he became a real team player. But before that, he could put up like really beast numbers. Like he could put up 10 assists and 21, 22 points easy. But he focused on that and he was able to win two championships. So, but Isaiah Thomas definitely deserved to be on that dream team. A lot of controversy, but he should have been there.
Also, one last thing I want to say about the Heat move that I hated was that LeBron took the easy way out. He just joined Dwayne Wade, who was like still good, and Chris Bosh also went with him. He just for me, besides him going to Cleveland, he's been going back to Cleveland. He's been taking easy way outs too, because even when he went to the Lakers, then he's like, okay, I need Anthony Davis. I want to see him win with the team without him trading for a big star. He's always had, like after the first round of Cleveland, yeah, he didn't have nobody on that team. I will not say that. But on the Heat, he had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Even in Cleveland, he had Kevin Love and he had Kyrie Irving. All right, Kevin Love's not that great, but still Kyrie's one of the best players at that time, And then on the Lakers, now he has Anthony Davis. It's like this guy just, I don't know. I like Charles Barkley's like, do you want all the good players? Do you not even want to compete? And I was like, I agree with this. Maybe I'm just old school in my thinking. I don't know.
No, the thing is that I felt that when LeBron kind of attacked him, it was kind of messed up because he was just doing his job as an analyst. He was just saying like LeBron was saying that the players he had they were too top heavy and it's like we need this and this and this and Charles was saying like do you want all the great? Do you need to play with like all the great players? Because
some challenge, bro. Come on, like what the hell?
Yeah, no. And then when he did that, it was like was like, I'm not anybody gonna attack like my legacy. I said, why are you bringing your legacy into this? It's got nothing to do with your legacy. We're talking about right now. It's just like, yo, you just played with Wade and Bosh, like two top 10 players. Then you're playing with Kyrie and Kevin Love right now, and it's like you want more. Like that's not enough for you. And it's like in the conference you play in, it's like, yo, dude, like you should be able to go deep into the
Right.
playoffs. And
Yeah. I want to address something quick before we get to this question. Dirty Rob said, didn't Jordan win until he got teamed up with Pippen and Rodman? That's different. First of all, Pippen was drafted to the team and Rodman came later on. That is completely different. This is LeBron James going, hey, I want to join these guys. I want these guys on my team. Jordan never said that. Those people were drafted by and came to the team. It wasn't like I don't think he had say in. They actually disrespected Jordan a lot, the front office, if you look at it. They didn't look at anything he said. But these players nowadays are like GMs or mini GM. LeBron is a GM. I don't care what anybody says. He could get almost any player he wants. He wanted Anthony Davis. He got him. That's it.
No, yeah, I mean that's a fair point. That's a fair point to say. Because Pippen was drafted. He was drafted by Seattle, and they got traded. I don't remember Michael Jordan asking, "Oh, you got to draft Scottie Pippen."
No,
As a matter of fact, Jerry,
I don't even think he probably even knew who Scottie Pippen was.
Jerry,
I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, no,
this question is great. I know you don't like the 2010s. I guess he's talking to me. Yes, the Magic traded Dwight Howard in 2012 or around that time. And they did the right move because he was getting annoying, but I wish he would have just stayed. But what team do you think was the best team to not win it all in the 2010s?
I would go with the. Wow, that's tough. I would say I look at the Thunder teams, 2012 and 2013. I felt like Westbrook's meniscus injury that he suffered against Pat Bev on that timeout. I would have won. I would have liked to see what the Thunder could have done with that 2013 team with that first year without James Harden. Then you look at that 2012 team that lost in 5 to the Miami Heat. Especially if you look back at that game 2 and Durant not getting that foul call when they were down 2, and LeBron clearly fouled him. If they go to overtime and the Thunder, let's say they win,
yeah,
you get a guaranteed game 6. Even if Miami wins all 3 games, you still would have had a game 6 in
I think that Thunder team is the answer because they had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, all on the same team.
Oh yeah, Serge Ibaka too.
Yeah, I forgot about him, man. He was good back then. Like now he's still good, but back then he was blocking shots. He was really good defensively.
Yeah, he was really good.
That's a great answer. I like that answer. What was I gonna say? Karam said something about he can't do that in LA. No, LeBron runs LA. He does. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how big of a market it is, okay? Because if that's true, they wouldn't have gotten Anthony Davis. Plus, another thing is, do you know why LeBron went there? Was because Magic Johnson was there, and Magic Johnson actually convinced him to go to LA. Is that not true, Louis Sports?
Yeah, that's the reason why Jeannie Buss brought Magic on the team. That was the reason she brought him on there. Magic was the sales pitch to get him to come. Magic has always been a big talker, so that's the reason why LeBron ended up going there. 4 years for the amount. If you notice what he did in Cleveland, he was doing the 1-and-1 deals when he came back, and it was once he left that team, that's when he committed long term. You notice that Miami and LA, they were the only 2 teams that he committed long term besides his first stint in Cleveland. But when he went back, he was doing 1-and-1 deals because of he doesn't like Dan Gilbert, so he was not going to be committed. They said that if he wanted to get players, that he commit long term.
Exactly.
Said, I'm not going to do that. So once he did that, he decided to leave and signed a 4-year deal with the Lakers. But Magic was the sales pitch.
It worked out perfectly for the Lakers. They got a 4th pick. They were able to trade that. They were able to trade a lot of pieces. And the Pelicans just gave in because they were just like, Anthony Davis, let's get something. We better get something or else he's just going to leave us anyway, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite NBA player currently? AJ Marshall asks.
That would be Kawhi Leonard. I know people are going to get on him for the whole low management thing, but I just like the fact that he just plays basketball, plays defense, plays offense, just does his thing. He's not in the limelight with the media and stuff like that. He just goes out and plays basketball. So that's what I like about Kawhi Leonard. And he's gonna give you 100% effort on both ends. So that's why Kawhi Leonard is my favorite player currently in the NBA. Currently.
For me, I'm going to be biased and say Nikola Vucevic because he's a great player we got, and nobody really talks about him that much. And, you know, he's a guy who get a lot of rebounds, get a lot of points. But if you're talking about a guy who's not on the Magic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he gets better every year. People said he can't shoot. This year, he started working on his shooting. He got better with that. He's still not all the way there, but you can see that guy, nobody expected to be this good. He was taken later in the draft, and he gets better every year. And I do think the Bucks are a threat with him. So Giannis is my non-Magic favorite player. So I just put two because, you know. Hey, let me ask you a question. Who is your favorite player on the Knicks?
On the Knicks, for right now, I like Mitchell Robinson. It would be between him and Julius Randle. I know people give a lot of flack on him, but it's like he's the best we got in terms of young players. I mean, I mean, I like Dotson. You know, but there is him. But in terms of right now, it's Randall and Mitchell Robinson because Robinson at least I would just wish he doesn't get into foul trouble, but at least when he's on the floor, he does bring an impact defensively, solid rebounder, he can block shots. And the thing is, we don't have a lot right now, so it's like, but if it was to be with those guys, I would go with Robinson and Valix is no handles Randall.
Sorry,
he's still a good player.
Yes, he said no. That is yes, he said it. You heard him. I didn't force him. He said it himself. He said Julius Randle, and he even said no handles Randle. He doesn't care if he has handles because he's a power forward. I really don't think it really matters that he has handles. Who cares? There's a lot of players who don't have handles. Not every single NBA player does. And I think he actually is a decent player. He's the best guy, sadly, you guys got last year in free agency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
For all the talk that they were going to get Kevin Durant and Kyrie. But Kevin Durant, they were like, that's a surefire thing. And then, you know, the media I think what they do is they make up these stories because that's what they want. They wanted Kevin Durant to go to New York. They want New York's Knicks to be good. But nobody ever wants to go there. Gideon, good question. If the Rockets
if you listen to Stephen.
No, you say go ahead, finish what you had to say.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no. I was just gonna say that if you look at Stephen A, why do you think he's always wishing for like all these players to come like on that team? Especially he was begging Kevin Durant to come. He was begging. He was on the team.
They're trying to drive the narrative there. So this is a great question by Gideon. Gideon, thank you for this question. He says, if the Rockets upset the Warriors in 2018 and the Spurs beat the Warriors in 2017, do you think they would have beat the Cavs in the NBA Finals each year?
I got more confidence in the Spurs because of the system and then Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker than I do with the Rockets of James Harden and Chris Paul.
I have no confidence in the Rockets, and I just don't. Like, James Harden hasn't shown it yet. My favorite player is not Aaron Gordon, believe it or not. I love Aaron Gordon, but my favorite player is actually Nikola Vucevic. We got him in the Dwight Howard trade. Aaron Gordon's a nice young piece, playing really well. I love him. I love Jonathan Isaac as well. I really like all the Magic players that we have, just hoping that they can, get better. But I love Vucevic because he's a double-double machine. He will get you, 20 points, 12 rebounds. That's what he usually averages.
He's also a very good passer, too. He can give you
Gideon says he likes Melo, and then we have Karam who says, screw Melo. What is your thoughts on Melo? You're a New York Knicks fan. What is your thought on Melo?
So with Melo, it's weird because like at one time when he first came to New York, but I like I said, I blame him and I blame James Dolan for Melo being with
trading
the Knicks when we could have had a very nice roster if he would have signed in free agency, and I think Melo would have had more to work with. Like I said, I mean he was what he was in terms of like he was a great scorer. Like I said, I liked him as a scorer, but every time I just felt like the one time that he actually had a chance really to win and actually go deep into the playoffs, that one time was actually 2013. But it's just we were such an older team. So that was the problem. And our older team got injuries. So we had injuries to Marcus Camby. We had Kurt Thomas out with injury. Rasheed Wallace got injured. When they were all in the lineup, we were one of the best defensive teams in the league, but it's just we couldn't stay healthy. Once they went down, our defense really struggled after that. Melo was carrying us that year, but I just never. And the thing is, I felt that we should have at least went to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat because I felt that we matched up very well with them, but we lost to the Pacers, and the Pacers did put up a good fight, but it's like we should have not. The Pacers were a good defensive team, but we should have not lost. We were much more talented than they were, and we still ended up losing in 6 games, which was very disappointing.
You see, like people always say the Knicks were not good, but you guys had a stretch with Carmelo where you were good. You know, you guys went to the playoffs. Yes, you lost, but you got there. You know, getting to the playoffs is still something because now you know how it feels to not be in the playoffs for so many years after you've lost Carmelo. Like Carmelo was at least good enough to get you to the playoffs, but not good enough to win you like a championship. Yeah, Dirty Rob. That made me laugh. Like someone told Dirty Rob that they told him who his favorite player is, and he's like, "I can have any favorite player I want. It's my favorite player." Alex actually responded, and he said, "I hate no handles Randles." Why do you hate him so much? I look at him statistically. He's averages what, like 19 points, 9 rebounds. He's a bright spot for the Knicks right now.
Yeah, he's the best we got.
He's the best player you actually have. Mitchell Robinson is a nice young player who's getting there, but he got to stop getting in foul trouble. That guy gets in. That's why he can't average the minutes that he can, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, Alex is a Knicks fan because Carmelo Anthony. He loves Melo. That's one of his favorite players. That's what he just said.
Mm-hmm.
Thibodeau to be the favorite to be the next head coach of the Knicks. Do you like that at all? Says AJ Marshall.
No, I don't like it at all.
He said,
no.
How do you like Thibodeau? You know.
No, the thing is that he's good as an assistant coach, not as a head coach. He's part of the reason why Derrick Rose lost his prime years, to be honest, because it's like, and he did it in Minnesota too. The problem with Tibbs is he doesn't like to play different lineups. He rides his starters too much and they play too many minutes. It's the reason why a lot of the star players get injured. That's the problem. And the thing is, he makes them, and because he's a defensive coach, he's not really X's and O's on offense. So that's why with Tibbs, it's like, you know, I get it, man. I like him as an assistant coach for defensive purposes, but as a head coach, no, I can't have him as a head coach. And those young players are gonna have. The thing is, he didn't even do well with a young team in Minnesota. I don't know how I expect him to do well with the Knicks. And he was an assistant under Pat Riley with Jeff Van Gundy. So, but those were different players back then. So, and I just think that with the way today's players are and the era with defense and not a lot of defenses really play today, I just don't see his fit as a head coach for our team. I just don't see it. And I don't want young players losing possibly like prime years if they start to play well. Him, running them to the ground because he doesn't know how to put different rotations. And that's always been my problem with Tibbs. So I don't see him as our head coach. And the Knicks would be stupid if they picked him up, even if he is a former coach of the year. So
Gideon has a great point. He says this favorite Knicks team was the 1999 Knicks because they went all the way to the NBA Finals.
That was actually my. I love that team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of Knicks fans love that team. Going to the finals is an accomplishment. Yeah, I mean they lost, but it was pretty impressive because they weren't supposed to even. They were the 8th seed, like he said. So.
Mm-hmm. And they beat some tough teams.
You gotta beat tough teams. If you're an 8th seed, that means you go against the number 1 seed. You go against all the best teams. It's very hard. You rarely see an 8th seed go in NBA, especially go to the finals. That is an accomplishment.
Yes.
Yeah. If only the Pistons drafted Melo. If you guys had drafted Melo, oh my God, that's so good.
Melo would be talked differently. Had he been a Piston with that team, he would have won. He would have won 2 championships, and the Pistons probably be a dynasty. And Melo would be talked about different. He's the only guy in the draft class, like out of the major players that have not won a championship. Bosh, Wade, and LeBron all have won rings. Even some of the role players that are in that same 03 draft have won championships. He's the only star player that has not won yet. So I don't think he's ever going to get a ring, though, considering his situation. Unless he goes to a contender, I don't see it, though.
Yeah. I don't get what he means. He says Julius Randle equals Beyblade
Beyblade
spinner.
spinner. Oh
What does
wow.
that mean? For a second, if you say that, I may be like, I don't get it. I know what Beyblade spinner is, but I don't get the reference.
Wow. Okay. He's saying Beyblade spinner. Oh wow.
So he spins like in a circle? Like, what's he saying? I don't understand.
I guess he's referring to his no handles. I mean, all he does is spin in circles. He's not going anywhere with his handle. I guess that's what he's saying. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, I get it. Sometimes there are players like that, like Evan Fournier. I don't know what's with that guy, man. He tries too much ISO, tries to do too much shit like that. I really want him out of this team. I'm so sick of him. I want to trade him, but I don't know who wants. I don't know who would take him because he does have one more year on his deal. I think actually someone will because it's expiring contract and he's still kind of decent. Their favorite second team was the 2013 Knicks, 2013 Knicks.
That was a pretty good team. It's just we were more of a veteran team, and our injuries hurt us because we lost a lot of depth. I felt that our depth, if those old guys can stay healthy and at least can hang on for at least one more series, I think the Heat, our physicality would have given the Heat problems because they don't like physicality. So if those guys were healthy, we would have been really physical with them, and trust me, I would have given them a lot of problems. And I thought that our ball movement was actually pretty good in the three times we beat them in the regular season. Melo had 50 in one of those games, so you actually really would have went off because LeBron has problems guarding Melo. So that would have been a nice series.
Yeah, that's true. And now Jeff in the Zone just randomly says, "What are your thoughts on DeMar DeRozan?" I think he's washed up. It's sad to say. He's not that good anymore. What do you think, Louis?
He is DeMar's a good player, but I don't like him in terms of being your lead guy just because he always, for some reason, in big moments, for me, that's when his anxiety shows, and he plays very poorly, and you could tell he gets mentally defeated and he mentally checks out. He's your third best player on a championship team. So when I look at DeRozan, he cannot lead your team to a championship. You have to put him with another piece that's actually an alpha. He's not an alpha. He is your third best player on the championship team, and they were looking to trade him. And I said, I know that they were like, should you trade him to the Magic? If I'm the Magic, I actually, you know what? It would only be good if they had a superstar player. That's the only way I can see it. If they're just getting him to get him,
No. I don't want DeMar. But I get what you're saying. But I just don't want him. I don't. At first I did, but when I'm looking at his game now, it's like I feel like he's falling off. Plus, he's another guy that can shoot threes. We need a guy that can score. That's the main thing. But no, I get what you're saying. Next to a star, it would be different. I get it. But I don't want him. I don't want him.
I hear you.
But yeah. If Kawhi joined the Lakers, they might have three-peated. Well, if he joined the Lakers, then that's worse than I think even Durant joining Golden State. What do you think about if Kawhi joined the Lakers? They might have three-peated.
Well, that's hard to say because it depends on who. It depends on who's around him, and then depends on who's the coach, and then how. I don't think Luke Walton would have definitely gotten to a three-peat. I'm being honest, so they would have had to get a better coach than that. And as good as Kawhi is, it really depends on who's around him in order for him to win. Because if you have a coach like Nick Nurse, I think that would have helped. He proved that he was a good coach this year. I thought that he was going to be one of those neophytes, but he proved me wrong. And the Raptors have the second best record in the East. So a coach like that who can give X's and O's, and you just have to build around Kawhi the right way. I don't know about three-peat. I think that's asking a little too much. Can they have a chance to win a championship? Yeah, but I don't know about three-peat. Your core is going to have to be that good that you can contend for years to come. Like your key to always repeating or even having a chance at a three-peat, you have to have a main core that's going to compete for for like a 3 to 5 year window, and then surrounding the players. That's always the key to a dynasty. You have to have your core to be able to be in their prime, or at least on the come up for the next 3 to 5 years, and they compete. That's going to be the key. I don't know about three-peat though. Can they get a championship yet?
If the Spurs rebuild, it's going to be quick. All the Spurs need to do is trade DeMar. You guys act like trading DeMar is so easy. And I don't think a lot of teams want him. I really don't see that much interest in him. Do you see any interest in trading, like teams wanting DeMar DeRozan? And which team do you think would trade for him?
I mean, I'm not going to say that there isn't. There's probably going to be some teams that will take a chance on him, but to me, it's going to have to probably be teams that are going. Like I said, DeMar's best scenario in order to get him is going to be for a team that's not going anywhere, or if it's a team that already has a superstar and they can use like his mid-range shooting, because I think his mid-range shooting has value for a team that has three-point shooting, because then you can kind of mix and match with that. And like I said, having a superstar with DeRozan would help. In terms of teams that could actually use him, I mean, I could look at a team like Miami. They could actually use a guy like DeRozan. He would actually be a good fit there.
Miami. That is incorrect. I don't want any good players going to Miami Heat. Yes, I don't want DeMar. If DeMar DeRozan's coming to the Magic to avoid the Heat, then sure, sign him, because I'm tired of the Heat. The Heat are just like a factory of getting players. They can get like anybody, I swear. Because let me tell you why. Before Jimmy Butler joined the Miami Heat, the reports were what? He was going to stay with the Sixers. How the hell did the Sixers lose him? All they had to do was give him a max deal, and that's it. I guess they felt like he wasn't a max guy. I don't know. Like, how did they lose him?
That's on Philadelphia. I honestly don't really know what they're doing in their front office. I feel like their front office is like just they're shaky.
Really
shaky at best.
Such a great team. If they had Butler and they had Simmons and they had Embiid, we're looking at a different team here.
Because Tobias got a really nice deal, and he struggled this year.
Butler is better than Harris. I guess they valued Harris more for some reason.
I guess so. But he hasn't played. He hasn't played well this year.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a great question. I think Chris Paul is the unluckiest point guard ever. First of all, that's not true in my opinion, but okay. What do you think? Do you think he's the most unluckiest point guard ever?
When it comes to his injuries in big moments and trying to win a championship, yes, that's where he's unlucky. It's turns on where, like, if you look at 2018, he was close, but then he got injured in Game 5 with that hamstring injury, and then he couldn't play the rest of the series. They could have used him against Golden State, but I know G Money wanted to ask that question because he was going to get into that whole Rockets Warriors thing. I knew it. He loves doing that. He loves doing that.
G Money Gideon. That's who you're calling.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes being called that.
All right.
Yeah, that's Gideon. But he loves doing that because it's like the reason he called that Chris Paul because he wants to get into that whole. I think the Rockets could have won. I'm not giving the Rockets a pass for that series.
Wait, what team does Gideon like? Is he What's Gideon's favorite team?
No, he loves the Knicks. The Knicks are his team. It's just when it comes to those series that he watched, he always goes into
where Chris Paul got screwed the most. It's not even the playoffs. You know when he got screwed the most? When he was supposed to be traded to the Lakers, and they said, nope, because you know him, Kobe Bryant. That would have been a fun team to watch, I think. But no, a lot of teams were bitching about it. Ironically, it was the Cleveland owner who was complaining about it.
Yeah, he complained about it, and then everybody else started complaining about it. That's why David made this excuse and ended up, nullifying the trade.
It was not. It was owned by the NBA. It wasn't actually owned by like an owner. So that's why it was vetoed. I think that's where he got screwed the most. Wouldn't you agree? Like if you think about it, he could have been on the Lakers. He has a completely different career.
Yeah, and they would have actually gotten Dwight Howard probably healthy. So you got him, CP3, and Dwight Howard. That would have been a crazy.
Dwight Howard never works out on the Lakers in my book. Okay, never, because he left the team. I don't even think he wanted to go to Lakers. I think like he wanted to go to another team, but he got traded there because he could have signed there again, and then he didn't. He left him for Houston.
No, what happened with Dwight is that he's not used to. The thing is, if you look at his personality, and it's like you look at Kobe, the reason they didn't mesh was because Dwight was trying to be the second coming to Shaq in terms of always happy-go-lucky and all this, and then Kobe's like about the seriousness and trying to win a championship.
I was so happy, Louis, that it didn't work out. I was just, you should have seen my face. And then when I saw Fitch turning into a star slowly, I was like, yes. At first, I thought we lost the trade. I was really pissed, but then I realized we won the trade. We won the Dwight Howard trade. The Sixers lost it. The Lakers did okay, but we won it. We won the actual trade. Look at all the pieces we got. I mean,
Oh yeah,
we're there now, but we still have Nikola Vucevic, and we had some draft picks.
absolutely.
And what else? We had Aaron Aflalo, who was good for a couple of years.
He's pretty solid. He's pretty solid. I like Aaron Aflalo.
Brett Brown is a moron. I think that's harsh. I don't know if he's a moron. But okay, apparently Oladipo is interested in the Heat. That doesn't make sense because Jimmy Butler plays shooting guard, unless he's gonna go to small forward and Oladipo. If Oladipo goes to the Heat, I'm gonna hate that guy because he was from the Magic. I don't think he's going. I think he's gonna stay on the Pacers. I think Pacers is where he's happiest. Do you think Oladipo goes to the Heat?
I think Victor. Yeah, no, he likes where he's at in Indiana. I mean, it'd be crazy if he goes to the Heat.
Where he played college basketball, it's kind of like his hometown, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
he likes it there. If he goes to Miami, I swear,
he'll make the Pacers a weaker team if he goes there.
I don't think him and Jimmy Butler are gonna mesh well either. You know, I don't know.
I don't think so. The thing is also with Victor, he has the ball in his hands. And if you look at Jimmy Butler, he actually started giving up the ball this year, where guys have really stepped up this year. But I don't think it's a good idea for him to go there because he's going to want the ball in his hands a lot. So, yeah, I don't see that.
Let me get you something here. He says Magic may have a freeway making the play. All the 8 teams in the East are in the playoffs. The Wizards never have a chance. Okay, Bradley Beal's out, and even if he wasn't, you know how many games they would have to win in a row and how many the Magic would have to lose for them to be out. Plus, the Nets are in more trouble than the Magic because they're losing players. Now, I know they picked up a few players like Jamal Crawford and they picked up Michael Beasley, but I don't know how much that's going to help them. We'll see, I guess. What did you think about the Jamal Crawford and Michael Beasley signing for the Nets? And do you think the Nets will keep their 7th seed or the Magic will take it? My personal opinion is the Magic are going to take it because they played them twice. And I think the Magic just are a better team right now.
The problem is I got the Magic being 7th for the reason being is that the Nets lost all those players and they picked up those players. They have to try to get their chemistry going for 8 games, and I just don't see that happening. And they're all playing for an interim coach, so just all of that alone.
No Dinwiddie and no Kyrie. It's crazy.
No Kyrie. No
Bird is the only guy. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Bird is like a really good piece.
Yeah, no, there's no Torian Prince. There's no KD.
Could have done better than this. Does G-Money hate the Magic or something? Does he have a gripe against the Magic?
I don't know.
G-Money, I'm asking you right now. Do you have a gripe against the Magic? Yes, Dolan is horrible. This is the main reason why you guys do not get free agents a lot of times, because Dolan is horrible. Do you think Dolan is horrible and that's why you don't get free agents?
Worst owner in NBA history, James.
Maybe the worst owner in sports right now. Maybe.
He is arguably the worst ever.
Yeah.
Donald Sterling's problem was just the whole issue with racism, but when it comes to Dolan, he does not give a damn about our team. He is all about the money. He could care less about
Donta Hall. What do you think about Donta Hall?
Good player, but not going to make much of a difference. They're just the thing is, all of these players are just they're pretty much fill-ins right now. But I will say that when KD and Kyrie look back, they have a lot of options they can start looking at. So once they come back, I think that it'll be different when they look at the options they have. But I mean, like I said, he's a good player, but it's not really going to do much for the Nets because they have to try to get their chemistry going for 8 games, and that's just not enough time. I got the Magic getting that 7th seed easy.
G-Money says, I don't hate the Magic. Well, the stuff you were saying was kind of blasphemous. That's why Magic have a freeway. Even if the Beal and all those guys were there, I didn't think the Wizards. All right, did anybody really think the Wizards had a chance? It would be a catastrophic. The Magic would have to go crazy bad for them to get a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Or even the Nets. I still think the Nets are going to make that 8th seed, and we're going to take the 7th. And that's it.
Because the rest of the East teams are bad. And the thing is, look, John Wall is not healthy. You lost Burkins and you lost Beal. That's already 3 players that pretty much make up the bulk of your offense. The Nets, even if the Nets go down to the AC, they'll still get it. I just don't see the Wizards coming in. It's just too much job.
Have a good night, Patsy Kaki. Yeah, I agree, man, Louis. The Wizards don't have it. And even if they had Beal or whatever, it's still not enough. They didn't have John Wall. A lot of people they're just missing. He doesn't hate the Magic. He says, I don't hate any team. I only hated the big three Heat and the KD Warriors. So, wow. Okay. Magic have a nice core. Yes, we do. Thank you. I hate when people don't even – like, I can understand people saying that they don't think Magic's a good team, but if you can't see the young talent that we have and how the team is building, then I think you're just being biased and you just – I don't understand this. Okay, Louis, tell me this. I'm a Magic fan, right? And I get a lot of people on my channel, and all they want to do is talk bad about the Magic. I don't know what the Magic have done to deserve this hate. They have not won any championships, and they love to tell me that. But they hate on the team so much as if they've won, like, so many. And you know what they tell me, Louis? They tell me, you should have been a Heat fan. Well, I like the Magic because Shaq was drafted by the Met. I mean, yeah, I liked it because Shaq was drafted by the Magic. So I stuck with the team. Why would I
Listen, man.
the Heat?
Yeah, no, listen, man. Listen, man. What you showed is that you're a dedicated fan of the Orlando Magic, and you even said it from the moment Shaq drafted, he was your favorite player. Like, what the thing is, when I look at the Miami Heat, a lot of these guys were bandwagon fans, and the thing is that it's a football town. Just fortunately for them, the Heat won, their championships. But a lot of reason why people were riding with the Heat was because of the fact that Wade, Bosh, and LeBron were there. But as soon as LeBron left, a lot of the fans ended up going to Cleveland, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them were LeBron fans to begin with too. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not saying that there aren't dedicated Heat fans out there, but I just think it's stupid that people hate on them because it's like, well, the Magic haven't won anything and all that. I'm like, you're a dedicated Magic fan. You've been there from the.
I had to highlight this comment. He said Magic have a bright future. Knicks have I think the Knicks have a decent future if RJ Barrett can be good. And Julius Randle, yes, no handles Randle, can play good. Like I think he plays all right. And the other guy Robinson, and then you guys need you guys got really unlucky because you should have got Zion Williamson, but the NBA doesn't want to give the Knicks the first pick ever since the Patrick Ewing debacle. So I don't know if they have a dark future. I just think they have to build through the draft, which takes a lot of time in the NBA because you're just not going to get free agents coming to New York until they see that. What do you think about the Knicks having a dark future?
I gotta correct you, G Money, on that. We don't have a dark future. We're already in the dark, so we're already in the
There's only light. There's only light outside.
So we gotta look at light up ahead. So I can't even say we had a dark future. We're in the dark already as it is. We've been bad for so long. We've had some decent teams, but we've been pretty bad. I mean, I've seen people go into games with paper bags on their heads. Like, that's how bad we've been. So, but yeah, no, we have a decent future. It just depends on what management does now. But like I said, we're never going to get better. The light will be once James Dolan resigns as owner of the Knicks. We get an owner that's about putting a winning franchise, and once we get a new owner that's passionate, kind of like what a Steve Ballmer is right now with the Clippers, we are definitely heading in the right direction. So we could definitely have some light, but right now we're in the darkness. I can't even say we have a dark future. We're in the darkness right now. I'm living in the dark right now with my Knicks. It's just been that bad.
AJ Marshall wants to know, what will your reaction be if the Knicks draft LaMelo Ball?
Easy. Now I have to hear LeVar run his mouth all the time in New York. That's just
LeVar in New York. That is gonna be that's gonna be bad. How bad was it in LA? It's gonna be worse because New York is actually a bigger market. Oh my God.
To hear LeVar Ball talk all the time, him being at Madison Square Garden, Stephen A, the ESPN will thrive on LeVar Ball stories every single time. FS1, I can see all of those guys. LeVar's gonna dominate headlines.
I think he would fold like a chair if he went to New York because of the pressure mounted on him. They're gonna think he's like the savior, and I think he's a good player, a great player. I don't think he's going to be the guy that, and then plus his father's going to put more pressure on him. The city's going to put pressure on him. Knicks fans, media, everything. Knicks fans love you if you're good, but if you suck even for like a second, people like No Handles Randall playing decent and they're getting hate from certain Knicks fans, I think he's playing well. I actually looked at his highlights and I'm like, I don't see what Valid sees, but maybe he makes mistakes during the games that I'm missing. I don't know. Can you tell me what the hatred is for Julius Randle?
I can't even explain it. I like Randall. I know he could get a little ISO happy, but like I said, I like his game and he's the best we got. But I don't know why Alex hates him so much. But is it just the handles that you guys don't like about him that makes you drive insanity with hate on Julius Randle? Because it's like, I mean, there's got to be something you like other than just his no handles. I mean,
Oh,
it could
Midwest,
be everything.
Miami isn't a sports town, period. Sorry. It's true because they're only there when their team is good. When their team is bad, they're all gone.
Yeah, no, I've seen Heat, quote unquote Heat fans. As soon as those guys get like blown out, those guys are gone by like early third quarter, already headed to the bar or going home or going to a restaurant. Those guys are gone. They're not even really dedicated fans. So that's why I was like, when people talk about you and the Magic, I'm like, at least you're a dedicated Magic fan, and
Yeah,
there's
I
like
don't get it. I'm dedicated to a team that's you can't call me a bandwagon because they're not like a team that ever you consider bandwagon. But then
exactly,
you want me to switch my team to the Heat, which is like the most bandwagon, one of the most bandwagon teams ever,
exactly.
like the history.
Yep.
Okay, wait. Gideon again, G Money says if the Blazers or Rockets were in the NBA Finals, how do you think they would fare versus the Raptors last year? What do you think about that, Louis?
The Rockets would have lost to the Raptors. Actually, no, neither team would have beaten the Raptors. I just think
Yeah,
the
no,
Raptors
they would have beaten the Raptors. None
neither
of them.
one of those teams.
The
I mean,
Warriors would have beat them if they had Durant healthy and they had their players healthy. Obviously, they didn't, so the Raptors did what they did. You know.
yeah, I'm sorry, man, but it's like the way the Warriors beat the Blazers after blowing the leads that they blew. They had a lead in every single game. If you're losing like that to the Warriors, I can't see you beating the Raptors. No way.
If you're a
Not a
Knicks
chance.
fan, though, just quickly, I think you guys want Anthony Edwards. I think that's the guys you guys want. He is so talented. I think he's the best player in this draft. And you don't get that pressure with LeVar Ball and all that. So that's the guy I would want them to get.
I would rather get him than have LaMelo Ball. I'm
There's
telling
a
you.
between those two, you know. If you get a top pick, you know.
I'm praying that we do because I really like that.
Get the first overall pick. Watch, because they'll be like, "Oh, New York had it hard with COVID. Let's give them a pick."
Oh my
I
god.
can't say anything because the Magic are one of those teams that got back-to-back first overall picks. But it's been a while. Besides Dwight Howard was the last time. I would be a better owner than Dolan. G Money says he only could. Anybody could have been a better owner than Dolan. I could pick any of you guys would probably be better. Dolan is just horrible, you know. Also the fact that like he's so thin-skinned, and like somebody said sell the team, and he actually kicked that guy out of the. When I heard that story, I was like, is this real? You know?
Yeah, it was real.
Yes, Mile High. The Raptors are better than Magic. I know.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Raptors are a really good team. Nick Nurse, great coach. Yeah. Nothing else to say about that. Wow. Gideon says that the Raptors would have beat the Warriors anyway, even if Anunoby, how is his name, was healthy. Warriors look to be no with KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. I'm sorry, no team can beat that. Do you think the Raptors would have beat them anyway if that guy was healthy? How do you say his name? Anunoby, or how do you say it?
Well, I do agree. OG
Yeah.
Anunoby. Yeah, I mean the Raptors were deep last year, so I'm not gonna discount that. But I just would have. If you look at what KD did in that game, they weren't doubling Steph and they weren't doubling Clay, so it made it a lot. It made it harder to double them because Durant did make a difference.
He would have won probably in 7 or something.
You take his points away, that's why the they lost him. You know, that's why the Raptors.
Either then Klay Thompson got hurt. Like, come on, it was just Steph.
It was a weird mix. I can't give that much of an excuse for Clay though because he did play most of that series. But I will say that he was in and out during that series. So there's just a lot of stuff going on for that 2019 Warriors team. A lot going on with that team.
Okay, this is why Alex hates it. We got the answer. Julius Randle blocks Knicks fan pages. He's soft. That's why I hate him.
Oh.
What's that got to do with basketball? Who cares? A lot of the younger generation is soft, to be honest. But anyway, what do you think about Julius? Do you think this is a valid reason to hate Julius Randle?
No, it's not valid.
He is probably the most talented guy on your roster. When I'm thinking about it, RJ Barrett could be some guy, but right now he's still young and growing. Okay, G Money just hates the Warriors so much that he just disagrees and says Warriors look beatable. Warriors would have gotten tired. The Raptors wouldn't have gotten tired, but the Warriors would have. I respect that though, because I can tell this comes from hatred of how much he already mentioned that KD Warriors team was the one that he hates the most. So. What do you think about that though? The Warriors wouldn't look beatable. They would have gotten tired anyway.
They look well. That was not their deepest team, obviously, but they still would have had to figure out how to deal with Kevin Durant. They still have to figure that out because we would have had to. That was one of those wait and see type things. That's why I'm not ready to say. I honestly think if you look at how KD was affecting the game, Kawhi was having trouble guarding him, and like I said, he spaced the floor. So
it's very hard to guard Kevin Durant. He's just so man. He's so tall, he could shoot over anybody. I don't hate the Warriors. I don't over glorify. You can say whatever you want, but the Warriors were one of the best teams ever for a few years. I mean, they even broke Michael Jordan's record. They went 73-9. Yeah, they lost that year, but still, that's pretty impressive. They won 3 out of the 4 years. They're a really good team, and especially with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. It's hard. Just all those guys are at least in the top 10.
I just knew G Money was. I knew G Money was going to bring that up.
How can you say over glorify when they won 3 championships? Wow. Okay. He doesn't hate the KD Warriors now, he says. I just don't think they were as unstoppable as people think. They lost a lot of depth and their defense.
No, Warriors were a great team, but I do agree with him that they weren't unstoppable.
Not that they were unstoppable, but anybody from the East, I don't know if they could beat them. I just don't think they had the depth either.
Yeah. But see, this is why I try to avoid questions like that, just because G Money always loves when this gets brought up, because he goes on and on and on and on about the same thing.
He's talking about this. Yeah, okay. It's not over glorifying the Warriors if they're good. And everybody's talking about, let's watch out for the Warriors next year, because they're going to have an early pick this year, probably, and they're already going to get all their guys back healthy. Do you think the Warriors are going to be really good next year, Louis?
Depends on who they have on their team next year. I know they have a high draft pick coming up. Depends on if they're going to trade that to try to get somebody. But they'll definitely be in the mix next year in terms of a playoff team, because you will have a healthy Steph and Klay. So that is already huge. They'll have the young players already got used to playing the system with Steve Kerr. So I think they'll be back in the playoff mix. They're not a championship team. I still think they're about 2 years away from that again, maybe 2 to 3 years.
They'll be a playoff team for sure, right?
No, they'll be a playoff team. They'll be a playoff team next year.
Wow, Alex actually gave us the real reason why he hates no random handles, because he was just joking, because he was looking for a reason here. He says, I hate him because he does way too much. He turns the ball over too much.
Okay. That actually sounds more reasonable than blocking Nick's fan page. I'm like, that's not a reason to hate on him.
It is more reasonable. I just don't get why it took him so many times to come up with something. Warriors will be nice next year. At least Gideon can admit that the Warriors will be pretty good next year. Yeah. Gideon says, I like Rando. Yeah, I think most Knicks fans do. Alex is the only Knicks fan I talk to that does not like him, actually. Mile High says, hi. Hi, Mile High.
What's up, Mile
High? Oh, man. It's funny because this podcast started off with something else. Then it went to DeAndre Baker. Then it went to basketball. And then it just stayed in basketball. I mean, I have no problem. I love talking basketball. I could talk basketball for days. Wow. Okay, let me ask you a random question. What is the thing you miss doing the most since Corona has been around? Life's obviously changed. What's something, because I have something I miss. What's something that you miss doing? There's two things I miss, but let's see if do you have anything that you miss that you're not able to do because of coronavirus?
So one thing I do miss doing, I enjoy going bowling downtown. That's one thing that I definitely miss doing.
Yeah,
That's the truth. Especially with the way the modern bowling alleys are. Because some of them have, I like going to frames. Because they have a nice little bar. Going in, if you're not like into bowling for like that day, but if you wanted to like watch something or just hang out at the bar, you could do that. I like also I hate the fact that they're not doing this outdoor dining thing. And some of these dining spots are like kind of going into the streets where they're like setting up the tables and the chairs and stuff like that. But I actually miss going to restaurants and trying new foods. That's another thing that I miss. That I wish had a COVID not been affected, I would have been at other restaurant spots trying out things. I mean, there's like Broadway plays. There's
yeah, yeah. For
yeah,
me, it's playing pool. I miss playing pool. I love to play pool. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's something I used to do always before Corona. But
yeah.
pool halls are closed, obviously. Going
Mhm.
places to eat, and then I would also say, like, the inside, going to the bars and all, like, restaurants. And then I would also say, what else do I miss? I was thinking of something else. Not for playing basketball. I know you can play
Okay.
basketball right now, but I don't know if I feel safe playing basketball. I see now. This is a question actually. What do you think about the kids playing basketball in New York? Because parks are open and people are doing it. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What do you think about the kids playing basketball at this Corona time?
The thing that sucks about it is that I understand the kids that they would love to, that they are playing basketball, and trust me, it's something that I definitely miss,
Me too.
especially like being outside on the courts and definitely playing. The only problem is that because of even if our cases have gone down, it's like there could be a case where again it could possibly go up, and it's like now it's like we're not really practicing social distancing, which is something that we should be doing at this time. So uh, I understand where the kids are coming from, but it's like you just rather be safe than sorry because then it's like you don't want to open something prematurely to then have to have another shutdown again. It's like make sure that things are like better to where you can obviously open things again. Don't because look at Florida, they haven't learned their lesson. Like they keep opening things, then the cases go up, and then they have to shut things down again. That's because they're not practicing social distancing. So you want to make sure that you get that. But I can see how it's driving kids crazy because it's kind of like what you were saying earlier. Because it's a young generation, and because because of the fact that they're kind of more into technology, whether as like you said, like with us, we could do things like watch movies and stuff like that, but the thing is also they just kind of just need to be outside because it's like when I look at some of these kids and like if they're doing like for example they were doing like remote learning and stuff like that takes its toll on them because they're constantly on a screen where it's like they could be on the screen but it's like it would be if they were playing a game if they were watching something like probably on computer but it's like the fact that they're like on there doing schoolwork all the time like that to me kind of drives me crazy so it kind of takes away from them being outside
Yeah,
but like I said, I, if I'm a parent, I would be trying to figure out ways to just try to just do engaging stuff to where it's like not to where it's like it's okay to cool to be outside, but just not doing any activities to where like
yeah, right.
you would run the practice, where you would have to just find a way for them to really understand practice social
Scared.
learning
I'm
things.
scared because I really don't want it to spike up again. Because
Yeah,
the
that's my thing.
reason it went down was people were actually staying at home because the weather wasn't that great. Now the weather has gotten so nice outside that people are just going crazy. They're doing whatever they want, and yeah, like nobody's really social distancing as much. So I'm just and the figures have gone down in New York, but I hope they stay down. You know what I mean, and keep going down. Um, Gideon is just a basketball guy. Like he doesn't care about anything that we talk about.
Yeah. Gideon's all basketball.
That of Gideon because I love talking basketball. And once basketball comes back, I've been calling a lot of Magic games, a lot of different games, not just Magic. Like I really want to call the Lakers and Clippers, and that leads me to my next question. And I think I've asked you this before, and I think you said Clippers, but I'm not. I don't want to assume. Who do you think, if these two face each other in the Western Conference Finals, would go on? Because Cody Johnson said Lakers are going to win the championship. But I don't think it's the Clippers that are going to beat the Lakers. Who do you think is going to win between those two?
So just to be fair, both teams have an opportunity to win a championship. So I'm not taking anything away from the Lakers, but I'm actually going with the Clippers. I just think the depth. I think again, a fully healthy Clippers team is a better defensive team. Their defensive numbers are actually one of the best in the league when they're fully healthy. This team has had injuries. Obviously Kawhi has had to low manage this season. Paul George missed the first 20 games of the season. So, and they've only played, I believe, 33 games together. So, like when you consider all of that, and now that because of the pandemic that they've had the chance to rest these injuries, they'll be able to kind of go a little now more so full throttle, and Kawhi's going to be playing all the games. So do they have some things to prove? Yeah, but it's like I said before, there's no home court advantage, so they don't have to worry about that. So there is no home court. They'll be playing in Orlando.
Advantage is the Magic.
Yep, yeah. So they'll be playing in Orlando, in Disney. So that's why I got to give the Clippers.
Hey, Louis, we didn't have to travel. These guys were all talking about traveling. Most of the players were like there. Like, what are you talking about traveling? We're here.
Exactly. And so that's why I just have the Clippers. I just think from top to bottom, I think they're deep. They're hungry, and they are not saying that the Lakers don't have a chance, but I just think that the Clippers are going to win, beat the Lakers, and the Clippers will win the NBA championship. And if they don't do it, I give the Lakers credit. That's it. But I got the Clippers winning this thing.
I got the Clippers winning for everything you said. And like the depth is just crazy. The players they have are starters on other teams. Marcus Morris was a great player for the Knicks. He was playing well for you guys. And now they have him just on the bench. Coming off the bench, he's going to contribute. They have the better defenders that I like. I think Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are better defenders. I like Anthony Davis, but look, LeBron's still good, but he isn't as good as he used to be at defending. I think Kawhi has passed him in that. So it's going to be really interesting. I could see either guy's winning, but I'm going to lean towards the Clippers just a little bit. So me and you agree there. Everybody thinks that the Lakers are just going to win for Kobe, but that's not how sports works, unfortunately. And man, I don't want the Lakers to win. It'd be cool to see if the Clippers could win their first. I like teams that never won championships to win championships, or like teams that haven't won in a while. So if the Clippers won, I'd be happy for them.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Lakers already have so many championships.
They got 16.
Yeah, the second most behind the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because they've been winning a lot, just trying to catch up. But they're not that far behind. But they won a lot.
Yep, just a championship behind them.
Yeah. I was gonna shock you. I think Russ and Harden will spoil the battle. No, come on, stop it. The Rockets are not shocking nobody. This is what he said. I'm going to shock you. I think Russ and Harden will spoil the battle of LA, and Rockets will blast off to the West, but they lose to the Lakers. Huh? What? How? How did the Rockets beat? They have not. You cannot win, to me, in any basketball with not a censor. They don't. PJ Tucker is not a censor. Sorry. They can't win. I don't see how they could beat the Clippers.
They're not going to beat the Clippers. I'm sorry.
Gideon, I would tell you this much: if the Magic played the Rockets, say somehow that happened in the finals, I would feel very confident that this is the first time we're going to get our championship. I'm not saying that will happen, but I'm just saying hypothetically, let's say some crazy shit happened, right, Louis? And it was those two teams. The Magic would beat them because we beat them by 20. We have the height advantage over them. They were a very good defensive team. They're a very bad defensive team. No, Gideon, I don't see how you like this team. Why do you like? Does he like the Rockets too? Is that like his second team?
No. He says that he trusts Russ and Harden with PG, but what he fails to understand is, yeah, Paul George lately has not done well in the playoffs. I will give him that. But I still don't trust Russ and Harden, and he should know better because he's seen what those two have done in the playoffs. Russ without KD and James Harden historically. The only thing I give James Harden credit for is that ever since he's gone to the Rockets, his team has always been in the playoffs. But again, when we're talking about championship,
he can't.
No. We're talking about championship.
First of all, him and Westbrook don't even mesh that well together. I don't think they have great chemistry. I think they have okay chemistry. Also, like I said, you gotta have a big man. One guy. They had Clint Capella, and they got rid of him. They got significantly. I can't talk right now. They got way worse once they did that. You could look at their record. They were losing games left and right. I think they even lost to the Hornets.
They did lose to the Hornets, yeah.
Yeah, I remember calling the game. Like, this team, this is the team you think is going to beat the Clippers? Listen, Gideon, I don't do betting, right? But if you want to bet me, I will bet you $100, and I will pay you, because I can do that. That's not that much money for me. I'll pay you $100, and I'll do it right now with the Rockets and Clippers if they face each other, that the Clippers will beat them. Do you want to take the bet? Because I will take that bet. I'm pretty sure even Louis Sports would like to get into that action against you. I will take that bet any day. If no, and that's obviously nobody getting injured. No Kawhi getting injured, no Harden getting injured, like everybody healthy. Oh, wow. This is his rebuttal. Clippers lost to the T-Wolves. That's one game. If they had a series against the T-Wolves, you know what they're going to beat. Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Oh, now he said Clippers barely beat the Knicks.
Did I see that game? I don't even remember. I think.
It doesn't matter about barely. It just matters if you win or lose. So wait, Gideon, I offered you a bet. Will you take my $100 bet? $100. First, they got to face each other. I don't even know if the Rockets face the Clippers. I don't know when they get eliminated. But would you take that bet, Gideon? Clippers got better depth than the Lakers, in my opinion. Hell yeah, they do, Alex. And this guy's talking about Clippers because they lost to the Hawks. Good teams lose to bad teams. It happens in the NBA. This is his rebuttal. So, Clippers destroyed the Magic. They destroyed us every time they played us. But we destroyed the Rockets. I don't bet. That, to me, tells me that you're scared. All right? We don't even have to do it for money. We'll do it for whatever you want. I got to shout you out or whatever. Does Gideon make videos? No, right? You don't make videos?
No.
But Gideon, I think you're a fun guy to talk to, but this is outrageous what you're saying, man. I think even Louis thinks it's – Louis, do you think that the Rockets could beat the Clippers?
No. he could – listen, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not understanding this. You're saying that we love the Clips. Well, my personal opinion is I told you why the Clips are going to beat the Rockets. The Rockets beat them earlier, but when the Clips were fully healthy, the Rockets, they struggled to beat them. That's why I said when they're fully healthy, the Rockets don't stand a chance against the Clippers because the Clippers can throw different lineups. And that's like I said before. This is why I can go deep with the Rockets. You take away their plan A, what plan B do they have? And I'm telling you, they don't have one. See, the thing is, that's with hypotheticals. It's got to be if they get hot. That's why I'm saying that I don't think the Rockets can win. And I said, judging James Harden and Russell Westbrook's history, and you're putting them together now, and you have Mike D'Antoni as coach.
That's the main part. D'Antoni as coach. Yes, Louis. D'Antoni is the main part because they don't play defense. Those type of teams can never win. Never get to the finals. You know, all that kind of stuff.
You said that the Celtics without Kyrie and Hayward were out, but the key thing is they still had a system. Brad Stevens is the coach, and they play a system. What system are the Rockets? That's the thing.
I'm declaring Gideon a Rockets fan. I don't care because he really loves the Rockets.
I think in a sense he kind of hates the Clippers. That's what it kind of sounds. I mean,
which I don't get. Why hate the Clippers, Louis? This is a team that's never had success in their history. One of the worst franchises in basketball. Finally gains a little bit of success, and people are hating on him. I don't understand. It's the same thing that happens with the Magic. We don't usually have success, but when we do, then people start hating us. I don't get why people do this. Why do you hate the Clippers?
Hold on. But he said that an old Joe Kim Noon's not going to stop at Harden and Russ, but those guys are perimeter players. We have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard for that. They can switch. They can switch.
You know what's funny, Louis? I never even heard of a person that hates the Clippers, besides Lakers fans. That's the only people.
Yeah, I mean the Lakers only hate the Clips.
And
Yeah.
I get that because that's, inner city rival. I get it. But Gideon is a New York Knicks fan. Why does he care? Why does he hate the Clippers?
Like I said, I hopefully just see good basketball. To be honest, man. I mean, but the only reason I picked the Clippers is because again, they have a starting their bench. You could actually have them as starters. Like I could go in depth as to why I think the Clippers will win. You can throw different lineups. You can go big. You can go small. Like you can go defensive. You can have an offensive team on the floor. Like they're versatile. That's the only reason I picked the Clippers. If they don't win, they don't win. But I'm just saying why I think they're going to win because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the
No, I
different
mean,
things they can do.
I can see the Lakers winning. I cannot see the Rockets going to the finals. I just can't.
No, that I don't see.
No. And especially with like how after they lost Clint Capella, they got way more. Why did they get rid of Capella? What was the reason? This whole small ball thing? They think that this is gonna work? Like
The whole small ball thing. They felt like he had no use on their team. Like he was slowing them down. That's on Daryl Morey. If they don't win a championship, it's going to be on him. He just believes too much. He just believes too much in analytics.
Yeah. Wait, Doc Rivers is not that much better. Yet Doc Rivers has won championships. And I trust me, I hate Doc Rivers because we didn't get Tim Duncan. But listen, he's better than D'Antoni. Come on.
Oh no, I said that. Like I said, like Doc Rivers, there's times that I don't trust him. But I said against Mike D'Antoni, no, I'll choose him over Mike D'Antoni. Against Mike D'Antoni, I'll choose him.
When has D'Antoni ever won a finals? Wait, when has he? He's never even gone to a finals.
He's never gone
to a finals yet. You're picking. Oh my god, dude.
I know he's gonna say he's gonna. I already know he's gonna go to 2018 and he's gonna say they were close. I know. I've had this conversation millions of times with you, buddy.
Oh my god. Why do you hate the Clippers, Gideon? What is the reason? Small ball will not work in the playoff. Small ball doesn't work generally, Alex. The Clippers were losing. Rockets were losing, I meant to say. Rockets were losing. Doc Rivers did allow the Clips and Magic to blow a 3-1 lead.
No, that's true. I'm not denying that. Yeah. No, he's right about that. That's true. But we're talking about right now. That's history-wise, yeah. But
he doesn't even talk about the fact that he did win championship. They did beat the Lakers. What about that? How come that's not brought up?
That's true too.
I am sleeping on the Rockets, Marshall. I really don't. I have no faith in them.
Like I said, I hope they could prove me wrong, but I just don't see it happening.
Don't sleep on them. And wait, he says a team that could, on the Western Conference Finals, beat the Clippers in the second round if they play each other.
No, he's saying that don't sleep on them because he says that they could go to the Western Conference Finals to beat the Clippers. I just said that a fully healthy Clippers team, I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't see it happening.
A fully healthy Clippers team.
Fully healthy.
You know what's funny? Clippers beat the Lakers 2-1. Yet none of them have mentioned that part.
I only trust Kawhi and
so I get that you have the Lakers coming out of the West. I'm not even mad at you for saying Lakers. I could see that. I could see the Lakers coming out of the West. I just think the Clippers are slightly better than you guys because they have more depth. They have more pieces.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Oh, Gideon says, I don't hate the Clippers. I don't see them doing much in the playoffs. I only trust Kawhi and Harold. Paul George is not that bad in the playoffs. He gets too much hate for this. He was really good when he was in Indiana. What are you talking about?
And but you got to understand that was a different time, G Money. We can't be that. I know that you want to compare the '99 Knicks, but that was a different time.
You always bring up the '99 Knicks.
That was a lockout year too. That wasn't even a full 82 game stretch. I mean, that was amazing, but that was a 50 game lockout. It was an amazing run, though.
Louis knows everything Gideon's gonna say before he says it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's been saying 99 Knicks.
You have debated with him so many times on your channel.
Oh yeah. Yep.
The funny thing is, you guys are both PG got. Yeah, but Paul George. Yes, he's played bad in the playoffs, but you don't talk about the good performances he's had in the playoffs. He's had some really good performances as well. To be fair, Giddy.
Yeah, no, it's
He
true.
actually Paul George. If Paul George is, if you're saying Montrezl Harrell and Kawhi Leonard, Paul George is the third option. That's not a bad third option. First of all, I don't even think he's a third. I think he's a second option. But if you're saying he's the third option, good third option to have. Okay, so I got it. He doesn't like Paul George. That's what it is. I got it.
I mean, that's fine too. It's fine.
Oh my God! And then look at this cap. Look what he says. Celtics did win in 2008, but they all. You can't talk about almost. You can't do that because then I could just say that the Magic almost won these games, and for this reason they could have been finals team. There's no almost. They won. They beat the Hawks. That's it. What do you think about that? Them almost losing to the Hawks.
Oh man,
Louis is not even gonna respond to that.
I can't because I've had that conversation way too many times on my channel.
1999 is different from 2020. Oh man.
Alex understands.
Okay. I admit PG had a 30-point game versus the Heat, but the Pacers won by 3 in 2014 with Bron dropping. Okay.
That was not.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on from this conversation. Gideon, you're awesome. I don't hate you or anything. It's just I can't because you're gonna keep going on about this, and I don't want.
Yeah, he loves this stuff.
Yeah. Whew. Man, that's always tricky. Like getting out of a debate, like
Yep. Yeah, he does it on purpose though.
Especially when somebody is like so into like their own thing, Yeah. Whew.
That was fun though.
I have a good question. Tomorrow is your birthday. You have any special birthday plans, or did COVID kill most of it?
COVID kind of killed most of it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna. My friend invited me to his house and he invited me for some food and stuff, so I'm gonna just kick it in with him, and I'm gonna probably go to my other friend's house to see UFC 251. I'm excited about UFC. And
UFC's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. I was thinking about calling the fight, but I rather said nah. I said let me just chill, just because it's the birthday thing. I probably might do like a reaction to the fights probably tomorrow on Sunday.
You love UFC, yeah.
Yeah, he's UFC fan.
Who do you have winning between Masvidal and Usman?
I got Usman by decision. Because the thing is, I know Masvidal is a dangerous striker.
Yeah.
But I just think that Usman is just more well-rounded, and I think he'll win by decision. I'll be shocked if Masvidal beats him. Shocked and then not so shocked at the same time, because I just think that Usman is more rounded as a fighter. But I'm just looking forward to a good fight. But I think it's going to be a good fight, especially because I was looking forward to the Burns fight against him. But the fact that you replaced him, especially with the beef they have, I just think it makes for good drama.
Yeah.
And the storyline is going to be just great. They just did the weigh-in earlier today, so I'm excited. I'm excited for the fight.
So, who is your favorite UFC fighter? Do you have a favorite?
When Anderson Silva was there, I liked him a lot. There was him. I liked.
Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was pretty good back in the day.
Oh, Chuck Liddell is one of the greatest. I liked him. I like Randy Couture. I like George St. Pierre. Yeah, there's a lot of great ones. John Jones before the drugs.
Yeah.
Before that, I liked him a lot. So, yeah, there's a lot of great fighters.
Even Brock Lesnar for a little bit was pretty good.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez. There's a lot of great fighters. I currently like Nunes in the females division. She's just a beast right now. She's the best. She's killing it right now. But right now she's taking a break.
Yeah, and Nunez is killing it. Her last fight, she destroyed that other person. I can't remember her name right now.
Felicia Spencer.
I actually did watch that fight, and she just, there was, I don't even know why I give her credit. She stayed in the whole fight. Like, they did all the rounds and all that. Yeah, I'm going to end this in a bit, Louis. But like I said, always fun talking to you, man. Love that you came on the channel. Always we're definitely, I love to come on your channel, and I love that, you came here. I'm just Gideon exhausted me. That's the real.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding. Gideon, don't take it. I'm just joking. Don't unsubscribe now because I'm pissing you off. Everybody has different opinions, and I respect your opinion, even though I think it's wrong. But it is your opinion, so you are entitled to it, and that's great. But before I let Louis go, I just want to say a couple of things, and then Louis can have the floor. I just want to say, Louis, I hope you have a great birthday. If you guys have not, please subscribe to Louis. I heard some people through the chat, they said they subscribed to you, so I know you gained some. Hopefully you gained enough to get you closer to 1K, and you get to 1K soon. Hopefully I get there, so also subscribe to me, because I do care about subscribers too. But no, Louis is great. Puts in a lot of work, a lot of effort. Streams every day almost. I do that too, but lately I've been on other people's streams, so that's why you haven't seen me here really. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for coming on. We had 2.5 hours, so that's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, tell me, this is your time to say whatever you want, Louis. So here you go. Close it out.
All right. So once again, salute to the chat. You guys made it great. I know G Money, you do this on my channel on the regular, man, with those. But again, I appreciate you as always anyway. But Sports Critic, excuse me, almost said Sports Network by accident. But thank you for having me. It's like because I have the Louis Sports Network and then Sports Critic. I'm like,
I got you.
But once again, thank you for having me. I thought this was once again another wonderful stream. This time Precision Podcast, a lot of fun. We got to mix up the topics, and it's great. I'd love for you to have me on again. Like, more than welcome to come. I hope you get to 1K as well, and I will continue to push forth, and let other people continue to know about your channel, because I think what you're doing is great also. And I've seen some streams that you've done with other YouTubers and stuff like that. And I joined the roundtable that we did with Giants Alliance. I thought that was great too. So
that was great. Yeah, we did that together too. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. No, and I gotta show up on Alex's channel again, and stuff like that. But like I said, man, a lot of fun. Definitely when I talk Magic basketball again, or just anything in general, I'll get you back on the show for sure. Whatever the theme is, and definitely do this again. Again, if you guys haven't, subscribed to the Sports Critic, producing great content himself. And I appreciate you. And again, guys, another great one, and some more Precision podcasts in the future, man. This was awesome, and I can't wait to do this again. So I had a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, subscribe to Louis Sports Network. Great guy, puts in a lot of work, and yeah, he's so close to 1K. Hope he gets it soon. I think he will, obviously, because he puts in the work. He's going to take a day off for his birthday tomorrow. Hope he has a great birthday, like I said. So I'm going to end this stream by saying, again, thank you. Thank you for the viewers that came from Louis Sports Network, too, like Gideon and some other guys. I don't know your names exactly, but I will get to know you, because I do like to get to know the chat. And so I appreciate, and I really love that you put a video up before coming on here, because that really helped a lot of people come in here, I saw. And so like I said, subscribe to Louis Sports, subscribe to me, follow him on Twitter, follow my Twitter as well. I do post and share. I retweet a lot of people's streams. Like Louis, I'll retweet his, share it kind of in a way. And I'll be doing it more. Sometimes I forget, but I'm going to do that more, because that helps people. And we're trying to help each other grow. And we're both, I'm going to be on his channel, I'm pretty sure, in the future. He's always welcome here, because I love talking to him. And that's it. This is the end of the Precision Podcast. This was so much fun, Louis. And so I'm just going to say, also, I know Dirty Rob is going to go live after this. Check out his channel. He's a great guy. Subscribe to him if you have not. And, Giants Alliance will be the next time the Precision Podcast. I think he said Tuesday works for him, so that's going to be Tuesday. So, Louis, see it's you, and then right him. So, yeah. Right. And, he's a great guy, so I hope you tune in for that. They'll be on Tuesday, so look out for that. Gideon, sorry if I was hard on you. I'm just joking with you. It's just, don't take that the wrong way. I do respect your opinion. I just think you're a little bit harsh on the Clippers and Doc Rivers, and I hate Doc Rivers, because we didn't get Tim Duncan because of that, okay? So, yeah. See you guys. Peace out. See you around the bend. See you in the next live stream or video. Everybody subscribe to Louis Sports again, and take care. Links are in the description. Peace out, and have a good night, everybody. And have a good
night, guys.
Peace. All right, and we